All right, everyone, we should start here in a second. Yeah, totally. We have a packet for Pat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you seen the financial?
The quality of this.
Yeah, also the state
I-
papers.
Well, so look, the printing was on my computer. They did some update and it stripped the printer out of my computer and I couldn't get it to print here at the office. So I had to go to Staples. And that was the standard Staples paper. It was nice. And
Yeah, it is
I don't know
nice.
what it is about the paper, but cool. Alva is here. Morning, Ella.
Morning.
Yeah. Lucas, if you can hand Jeff.
Yeah.
You get to get close to, yeah.
Jeffrey?
And no, Paul, I did send him everything and let him know, but I don't see him here.
Okay,
We have quorum.
great. Well, let's begin.
Cool.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here on such another bright, hot day. Is everybody, we know everybody, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So we can dispense with introductions.
We don't know who's joining them.
I can say who's joining remotely.
Okay.
Mary Beth is here, Dan Hemingway is here, and Ella Miguel is here.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to those of you outside the room. Don't hesitate to remind us to speak up if you can't hear us, but we're going to jump right into the agenda since Dan has promised a full meeting.
We can be brief. It's okay.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
So the one concern is that the new board member item, Ella's only here right now because she's in the middle of summer, running a summer camp, I believe, and Jean can only be here from 11 to noon. So I don't know if you wanted to keep the new board member stuff for right at the beginning with Ella here, or if you wanted to punt that to later when Ella will have to go and Jean can be here. It's up to you. In either case, only one of them is going to be here.
Okay,
So that's up to you all, whether you want to make that adjustment or just keep it as it is.
but they're both here now?
No, Jean will be here virtually at 11.
Okay,
She had she got into an appointment or something that she was waiting for on short notice.
and Ella's here now
And Ella is here now with us.
through the morning
No, till 11, right, Ella? I think that's right.
until 11.
Until
Okay.
11, right? So
So one way.
yeah, basically.
All right. Well, yeah, let's get through the meeting minutes. And, yeah, so let's take advantage of Ella being here. We can talk about that item. And then, Ella can go, or stick around until 11. And then when Jean joins us, we can take that up.
Cool.
Is everybody okay with that? All right, great. So if that's all we have to consider for adjustments, then let's jump in. First up would be the previous meeting minutes, review and approve of those, May 20. Is there a motion to approve?
Kind of a minor change, but Dan Hemingway's to be Dan under virtual attendance.
Oh, okay. Dan Hemingway is virtual. Thank you. And it looks like actually Jean is here now, so that's perfect.
Great.
I move we approve the minutes.
Motion by Nancy to approve the May 20 meeting minutes with the amendment. Seconded by Rich. Any further discussion on the May 20 minutes? Thank you to all who had a hand in preparing those. Appreciate it. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are hereby approved. Henry, good morning.
Good morning.
So the next item would be to have some discussion, since Ella and Jean are both here now, to talk about Ella and Jean possibly becoming members, either as supervisors or as associates. So, Dan, do you want to start us off on this?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about this. So, both Ella and Jean were with us last time, expressing their interest and talked a little bit about themselves. We're looking for at least one new board member, mostly to replace Paul, who'd expressed some interest in stepping down once once a replacement could be found. And then Rich also interested maybe in stepping back a little bit. So then we were looking for two. And we also had Hillary Martin, who then withdrew, said she had other things that too many other things on her plate already.
Right.
And so Jean and Ella were still interested in being supervisors or associates, as the board kind of decided. And we were looking for two new members, so that worked out for us perfectly. What I'm proposing is that Ella take Paul's seat, and that Jean take Rich's seat, and then Rich become an associate supervisor, which is what Rich has asked for and would love to keep you on. So that's my proposal. The switch of Ella and Paul, Jean and Rich is arbitrary. There's no real way I made that decision. One of them, their terms comes up earlier than the other, but there was no,
No favor,
no favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if we had some time, if Ella or Jean wanted to say anything else, if they don't, that's fine. And we can just move ahead. The board can move ahead and make a decision. So I don't know if Ella or Jean, Ella looks like she got bumped off her internet or something. But Jean, if you wanted to say anything else, now would be the time. If not, and Ella's back. So they're saying, Ella, Jean, if there was anything else you wanted to say, now would be the time. Otherwise, the board's going to make a decision on what the proposal is here in the minutes. So thank you both for being here. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, and apologies for the drop there, but glad I was able to rejoin. And yeah, just would be very grateful and excited to be able to engage in the community in this way and help bridge the conservation and sustainable agriculture communities in Northern Vermont.
Yeah, thanks. I'll be brief. I am also really grateful and honored for this opportunity. It's been so exciting for me to learn about the conservation districts and really to get a better sense of the opportunity that exists with you all to make a real tangible hands-on impact in the state. So really excited to be learning more about you and joining in whatever capacity the board feels is best at this time.
Appreciate it from both of you. Thank you.
I am really delighted that we have two awesome candidates. I'd like to make a motion to, as proposed, to appoint Ella to replace Paul and Jean to replace Rich, and Rich to become as proposed.
Appoint them as supervisors.
Appoint them as supervisors, and as Rich sounds like has requested to appoint Rich as an associate supervisor. It will stay good to have this month.
Is there a second to Nancy's motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Russ. Any further discussion? Jean and Ella, thank you very much for your interest in the district. I'm just quickly looking at my notes. Ella, I had you down as living in Chittenden County. Is that right?
Correct. I'm a resident of Winooski.
Okay. And then Jean, you're here in beautiful Washington County.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's a thumbs
okay.
up, thumbs
That's
up,
right.
yes.
Sorry, that's right.
There's a thumbs up. Yes.
Jean, can you just tell me again what town?
Yes, my residence is in Plainfield.
Plainfield. Okay.
I currently spend a lot of time in Montpelier, but my official residence is in Plainfield.
Okay. Great. Thank you. No, I can't, I think I can speak for the others. We're thrilled that you are interested in the district. You're willing to step in, as you've indicated, as becoming a supervisor. So you would round out, both of you would round out our ability to maintain the full slate of supervisors at 5. You know, obviously there's a lot of work to be done. I think each of you can bring unique perspectives and backgrounds to help us with our ongoing mission. And so we're thrilled that you're here now, and that we can consider your application and interest and desire. So anything else?
You might want to clarify which ones they're replacing individually, seeing as the terms are different.
That was my motion. It's as our agenda has, so it is
Oh,
made
okay.
clear. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Ella's going to step in for Paul, whose term ends on December of 2028, and Jean would step in for Rich, whose term ends 2029. And we can talk later on, Jean and Ella, about what's involved as your term approaches its end. Not a huge complication, a little bit of paperwork on your end, or not, if you care to choose to do it that way. But it's great that you're willing to step in and try us on for size. So hopefully Dan can amend the listing that we have.
There's an info page that I'll send around to the both of you to add your info to, and that way we have everything is up to date.
Contact
Yeah.
information. So it's just a way for the rest of us and staff to sort of stay abreast and keep current with who's doing what, in what capacity. So,
And there's a website, so I'll ask for a picture too for the website.
great. So if there isn't any further discussion, all in favor of the motion?
Right.
Aye. Very good. Ella and Jean, welcome. Great. Thank you very much. And so we have now dispensed with that, a very important order of business. So we're going to jump right into the financial updates from Pat.
Let's cut these nice ladies loose. They might, just let them know that if they want to stay or whatever.
Yeah, right. So you are board members now, so you can vote on everything that we're doing. So I know that there are some time restraints for you in particular, Ella. So stay what you can stay for and leave when you need to leave. We have a quorum even if you both leave, so we can still conduct business.
And I'm curious, before they leave, if we should have a quick discussion about just meeting schedule and, like how that is going to work with their
Oh,
schedules.
yes.
Happy to do it. Yeah, if that's something. So currently we meet on the third Wednesday of the month, every other month. That's kind of on our schedule at 10 a.m. We can keep doing that if one of the things we talked about as we were searching for board members is if evening meetings work better for people, that is something we could shift to. It's not something we do now, but it is something that could happen. And so, if you have a preference in that regard, let me or the board know, and we can work out a different schedule as time goes on. Right now, our next meeting won't be until September anyway.
Okay. I would just like to suggest, I'm a carpenter, and so first thing in the morning or after work hours, at least 5-ish, would be great for me. I know that Jean's raising little kids, so I'd love to hear from those guys.
I can make anything work. For me, evenings, like things that start at 4 are kind of preferable to me than things that start later. So like a 4 to 7 or 4, if it's that timing. honestly, my preference is during work hours, but top of the morning would be fine, even starting at like an 8:30. I know that's pushing it for many people. So I can make anything work. The hardest for me is a true like dinner time evening thing.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm able to be flexible most of the time, and the September meeting I'll be able to join in person. June and July are just very busy season here at Bread and Butter, and so wasn't able to join in person, and likewise can make anything work.
Okay. So I don't know if we want to decide now or if we want to think about it a little bit more. And like I said, we have 2 months to make a decision about when we meet in September. So it's not
Okay.
not urgent, but if there is a desire to make a change, we'll just have to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, and similarly for those of us here, let Dan know if there's
Same.
a
Yes.
complicating
Yeah.
time or factor that, and we'd like to accommodate all or as many as possible, so. And certainly the remote option.
There is always the remote option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I don't know is this building access after like normal working hours. I do have a key, but presumably we can just get in with my key. But I don't know, Mary Beth, if there's a preference from NRCS that we not be here in the evenings. I don't know.
No, Dan, you just take responsibility for that. You need to be the last one out and lock the
Yep.
door, and
Yep, got
it's doable. You are listed as somebody with access, so.
Well, it sounds like there isn't any demand for evening. meetings
Okay.
anyway, so
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
hearing that.
So then we'll stick with what we're currently doing.
Yeah, or
Okay.
potentially an hour or so earlier.
Sure. That works too.
But
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay.
really- I'm pretty flexible.
Great.
Cool. Financials.
All right, so Pat, you have the floor.
Okay, let's start with, FY 26, the budget versus actual. This is pretty much cast in ink, barring any unforeseen, things that come up. Technically, from the accounting standpoint, you have 45 days from the end of the fiscal year to finalize your financials, so we still have some wiggle room there. Quickly, total income, from municipal support, 800. The tree sale, 28,991. The annual meeting, we saw some repeat receipts there to offset those costs. We have interest income of $1,319. Previous years, we were lucky if we saw $50 in interest income. And that is from the CD. Generally, project grants, 390, 969. The skidder rental picked up this year. We think that's because of the winter, access on the snow. We had some other miscellaneous receipts, Dan talking with some schools. There were some small stipends that came in on that. So, and we had a $12 donation. That's a long story. So total receipts, 606,645. In the personnel and payroll section, we were just a little over on our wage budget, which consequently we were over in our payroll taxes, health insurance stipend. Employees opted for the healthcare stipend. So the total of 24,000 for healthcare, comes out to about 23,000, on budget. We had, 2 employees who participate in the simple, payroll processing, 2,500. Program and fundraising expenses, all of the tree sale. Now, that does not include the soft costs. That does not include personnel, which, I believe, is another 5,000.
Yeah.
Added to that. Project costs, project meetings, that's mainly yes tomorrow. Stipends to participants, contractual, supplies, travel and mileage, 184, 154. Then the operational expenses, I'm not going to go down on each of those, but take a look at those if you have any questions. Insurance. Again, we budgeted 8, but because we were able to get Dan reclassified, that's come down by almost half. Are there any questions there? Total operational expenses, 34,656. Net ordinary income, 74,251. Again, it was the prior year carryover that really helped us out there.
Thank you, Pat.
Any questions?
I'm very happy that our staff expenses for the tree sale were a lot lower this year than they were last year. Our staff expenses for the tree sale were a lot
Yeah.
lower
they were.
this year than
You
they were
guys
last
more
year.
efficient.
We were a lot more efficient.
One of the many benefits of having
Oh.
staff who have been.
Right.
First time.
Yeah. Yeah. We did have intern help. That's true. Yeah. Gene has a question. Go ahead, Gene.
I'm so sorry if you mentioned this. I was looking deeply at the numbers. Can you say a little bit more about the contractual, the difference between the budgeted and what happened? It seems like there was a project or something that didn't happen. I'm curious to learn that background. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. It is projects that didn't happen that we were hoping or expecting to happen this summer, at least before the year ended. So there's a dam removal, Rouleau Pond Dam in Williamstown that I was hopeful would come out this summer. It definitely is not coming out this summer, maybe next summer. There's problems with the plans. There's problems with not having enough money to do the construction. So that's a project that is delayed and behind and so on. Woodchuck Hollow in Washington, there's a culvert replacement that I'm still hoping we can squeeze in at the end of this year, but didn't come out before the end of the fiscal year. Our road improvements in Heinsberg, those will happen this summer, but will happen in the next fiscal year. So those don't end up on the books for the last fiscal year. But I think at the time I was hopeful that they would come out earlier in the summer. Hasn't happened that way. So it's a couple of big construction projects that just didn't happen before the end of the year.
We can move on to the balance sheet. Total cash on hand, 72,335. I do have a question for the board right now. The CD is coming up again for renewal next month. Again, do we just want to roll it over as we've done each year?
Pat, regarding the CD, so do we have during that decision period, we have the ability to actually withdraw money as well?
The CD is accessible, yes. So we've been treating it almost as our line of credit rather than establishing a line of credit with the bank. We could pull money from that CD anytime.
Without penalty.
The past year, we've earned $900 in interest on it.
Yeah, would there be any reason not to roll it over?
No,
Okay.
but the bank does ask me if you guys.
Yeah, it sounds like it makes
are okay
sense
with
to do that. It's great that we.
Yeah, as a 12-month CD,
It's a 6 month.
6.
The renews every 6 months.
I think last time we did vote on it. And maybe we just vote on it at the end when we with the approval of the financials.
Yeah,
But I know that last time we renewed, we did vote on it.
This is gonna happen, in August, I think, so.
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Any-
So,
Any questions on the balance sheet? Did you talk already about the profit and loss? Or was that included in as part of
That's
the
in the,
income and
budget
expense?
versus actual.
Okay.
P&L.
Yeah.
So that amount shows up on the balance sheet as well, that's 74,000
251.
Yeah.
as retained earnings. And we're gonna jump the gun a little bit, but, once we get into the budget, Dan and I are going to get together probably next week and discuss, what we can carry over from the retained earnings to this 27. We have to review the, existing grants or just make sure, but yeah, there will be a carryover.
Okay. Oh, Henry, sorry.
This isn't totally in line with this topic, but I've heard y'all say that we might be looking for another headquarters. And I'd love to find out from y'all what your budget is, because I think I could probably help out with that.
Yeah, that will come up explicitly here in a little bit. So I don't know if you really want to save that till then.
Again, this is a draft budget.
And it's
so-
yeah,
Sure. Great. Thank you.
but yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second.
Absolutely.
Is that it, Pat?
That's it for me on that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Pat on the financials? If
How'd you
not,
get so cool, Pat?
How did you get so cool, Pat?
How did I get this?
So cool.
What do you mean?
This comes natural, I guess.
all these numbers,
Man,
positive, negative, yeah.
yeah, stone cold. All right.
So bottom line, Pat, is it fair to say the district is in good, okay, or outstanding financial condition?
I think we're in very good
Very good.
financial position,
In the
as we
black.
have been for the past 2 years.
Great.
For Dan,
Yeah, thanks, Dan and Pat.
And Pat.
It's a group effort. It's a group effort.
Paul would be happy.
Yes, Paul would be happy.
Yeah,
Paul
No.
would be happy.
right. So if there's a motion to approve the financial updates as presented by Pat, as well as extending the 6-month CD. Motion by Nancy.
Second.
Seconded by Russ. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
is
Very-
that Robert's rules, correct?
My version of it.
Close enough.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm gonna abstain just because these financials are brand new to me.
That's
So I'm
fine.
still- Thank you.
Okay. Jean, abstain. Got it.
Okay,
Likewise for me.
And
all right. Yeah, please look them over. Circle back and Dan can hopefully answer your questions, but if not, we can outreach to Pat for clarification.
yeah, happy to take any questions in now or in the future. So
Yeah, in the budget year that we're in now, FY 27,
mhm.
right? that started on July 1st.
Correct. I believe that's
So-
true.
The fiscal year ends June 30. So. Great. So approved. So next up would be the draft 27, fiscal year 27 budget and work plan review.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things to talk about, and let me see if I can pull this up online here for the folks online. This one. Of course, it's gonna pop up really soon like that. Okay, so the first thing in the sheet is just a rundown of the grants that we applied to over the past fiscal year. So in fiscal year 2026, you've seen a version of this, I think, at previous meetings, but this is the more or less final version. In total, I think we applied to like 37 grants, and were successful in 20 of them, and that's across the whole group. So myself, Lucas, Kara, Heather. And it includes grants also that we wrote for other people. So that we wrote for farmers, for example, or that we wrote for a town. We did in one case for the town of Milton, we wrote a grant for them with the understanding that we would be managing the project, were it to be received. I'm trying to think of what's new since the last time I presented this. So we did get our a new VWQP agreement. That's towards the bottom. Let's see, we did get another Ag CWIP agreement, which is also, it's the fifth line up from the bottom. That was less money than we had asked for. I think we've talked about this as a group already. We still have a couple of things pending. Tactical Basin Plan here is pending. That's no longer pending. I did get that contract after I prepared all this for the board meeting, and it is the 23,000. That's somewhere. So it's what we proposed was what we were awarded, which is great. Things that are still pending. Collaboration on a lake watershed action plan for Shelburne Pond with Fitzgerald Environmental. I'm still waiting to hear about that. That's for about $7,000. And that would happen over the course of this fall and the coming spring. The local fund pool we did get. We just don't know the dollar amount yet. And maybe Mary Beth can say more about that when it's her turn. I think the last I heard was that somebody knew the dollar amounts, but it wasn't public knowledge yet. So we'd asked for $800,000, and I don't know how much of that $800,000 we get. We never see any of that money anyway, but it's still money that we got to people in our district. And then we are still waiting on that food Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research grant, which is like a research grant for looking at how to improve buffers through a variety of ways. Use of fungal inoculation for the soils, integrating harvestable crop plants in the buffers so that they function both for humans and for the environment. So there's a number of different angles to that. But that would be like I think it's a 3-year research grant for a decent amount of money, but we're still waiting on that. Everything else here is as presented. I think we were our least successful grantor was Lake Champlain Basin Program. We took a lot of losses in terms of the applications we submitted to them, which was unfortunate. But they did give us some money too. So a couple wins there.
Oh,
Yeah, a couple of wins. Otherwise, I'm happy to take questions. I realize that like the total applied for amount of almost $10 million is a very large number. That's mostly that $5 million for the Simmons Foundation grant, which is another research grant that we did not spend very much time on. We submitted a pre-application, which was basically like a 1-page summary of our proposal plus like a CV, and they declined to have us like write up a full application for it. And that was in collaboration with a couple other districts, White River, Bennington, and I think one other group, Franklin. That might have been Franklin. And yeah. So the total award funding for this year is just over $1 million, which I'm pretty excited about.
This most of $500,000 fungal, et cetera, riparian
Yeah.
grant, does that include new staff person?
There'll be some staff time included in that. Some interns, like a full-time staff person for the lifetime of the grant, right? So it's like a 3-year term position, basically.
And how are we looking at on that?
No idea.
Yeah.
We've submitted. They'll let us know, I think, this fall.
That's amazing.
So
Maybe, I don't know if there's time to send addenda for additional partnerships to dress it up a little bit. Not really.
no.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm curious about the Lake Champlain Basin program. If you know anything, is that a reflection of how federal funding is flowing or not flowing, or you
It's
know?
maybe some of that when they shoot back an application that they don't,
Yeah.
they decline to fund, they give us feedback. It's always very, very poor in general. Like, poor in the sense that I mean, it's not very helpful to
The
us.
feedback is.
Yeah, the feedback itself. Not that like we did a bad job, but that like one I got back was really like we didn't fund it because we didn't fund it was essentially what the right. Like they get more applications than,
Right.
and sometimes it's probably difficult for them to choose among the projects, but sometimes they give real feedback. Like we weren't sure where some of your budget items came from, and so we didn't feel comfortable giving you that amount of money. That's like a feedback that is helpful. Sometimes it's just that, we didn't give you any money, which is not helpful. So it varies, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the Shadow Lane one, the feedback is basically that road. They think the road is too short, even though that project is basically like the most important project to come out of that watershed action plan, because it's like this steep road that just dumps dirt and sediments into the lake every time it rains.
Yeah.
But because the road is like less than a half mile long, they look at the metrics and say, well, why are we giving you $150,000 for this tiny little road?
Yeah.
So we've tried a couple of times with that road. I'm getting less and less optimistic every time we try and fail to get money for that project, even though it is like the most important project in that watershed.
Yeah, we tried for the road and the infiltration basin on the Hunt property.
Yeah, we tried a couple of different ways to like parse it out and do
Yeah.
the different pieces of it, because maybe they're like, maybe not the whole thing, but
Yeah.
maybe this section, and
Both
none of it's been
got,
successful so far.
rejected.
So
Yeah.
Lucas and I will have to sit down and brainstorm a little bit. Their road association is enthusiastic and wants to work with us, but we just haven't been able to get it funded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, along those lines, I again, with this latest decision not to fund or even partially fund.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any sense in just sort of saying, okay, here we are. We've applied so many years for so many amounts and we've been denied. It's still a high priority. What do you recommend we do?
yeah, we can, because LCPP was also the ones who funded that action plan to begin with. It wasn't
Yeah.
a state action plan. So they have funded some follow-up projects. The Enos and Partridge Hill road improvements are a follow-up project to that LWAP, and LCBP is funding that for a decently large amount of money. So they have given us some money to do follow-ups on that. Just this is like the most important follow-up, and it's one that they haven't funded for us. So
And these
Yeah.
projects ranked the highest on the
correct, yeah. So and there will come a
Most
point
definitely.
when we'll just have to say, I'm sorry. There's nothing more we can do. Like we've tried. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're definitely getting there.
Yeah. And then I noticed there's the line here, Envirothon coordinator.
Totally. So the Envirothon coordinator, so the Envirothon committee has decided to reissue the RFP for the Envirothon coordinator position. They have not issued an RFP yet. We're getting kind of late in the game for them to do that, because then people need to apply. They need to choose somebody. If we get into September, October, and they haven't picked somebody, there's probably not going to be an Envirothon this year.
For 27.
For 27.
Okay.
That steering committee moves very slow on everything, and tend to need someone to poke them to do stuff. That person was Lucas last year. If that RFP is reissued, we will apply for it, and to try to retain our position as a coordinator. But we just haven't seen it yet. I know they've been working on it, but yeah.
Regardless of the timing.
Regardless of the timing, we'll apply.
Okay.
Because I'm hopeful it would be a more than 1 year appointment. But again, I haven't seen the RFP. They haven't released it yet.
Okay.
I was
So,
told it would come out 2 weeks ago.
so, and I've tried to
Christmas is
poke.
coming too.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've tried to poke Michelle Monroe because ultimately VACD is like responsible for making this happen. And they like set up this committee to like manage it. And she said she would kind of get on their case a little bit and hasn't really helped. Sorry, Henry.
Not at all. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all up to speed. I've been working for a long time in the flexible pathways statutory loophole here in Vermont, working with kids to do ag to get their high school diplomas. Whoever gets the Envirothon, I'm going to be meeting with Greg Burt, our constituent, and Hero and Ensign Tibbetts next week, and talking about running flexible pathways programming through the Agency of Ag and creating a template for conservation districts to get kids out of high schools and onto farms to get their high school diplomas. And so for that, I'll be exploring funding and staffing and be working really closely with you and keeping you in the loop.
Okay. And you think that loops into the Envirothon, like that those students?
Envirothon is the most amazing flagship for this particular program because I only taught one science course in the entirety of the decade that I ran regeneration.
Sure.
And this is an exhaustive, I mean, there's way more material. You only need 2 credits per class per semester. That's each booth. That's
Sure.
each meeting that you're going to at your high school.
Sure.
So all of a sudden we're taking a capacity load off teachers' backs and giving kids an opportunity to get away from those cognitive decline screens and out onto the farm with animals for their emotional therapy. And yeah, we can offer STEM classes. The statute, Flexible Pathways Act 72, has never been funded, has never been structured, and the conservation districts and the NRCC have an open path to lead the way. So I'm working real heavy with Jen Byrne, and we'll just keep you all up to speed. But I'll be wanting to talk about some funding opportunities, and Jen and Sarah Damsel and everybody's on the same page. No matter who gets it, we're all doing it together.
Okay. Yeah, that's the first I'm hearing of the flexible pathways thing. I don't know if that all the districts are working on it together. It sounds like a White River.
They all
thing.
want I told Jen she doesn't want to be saddled with the logistics because we have to roll out this program with Emily Dayhoff. You know, we need to actually develop the curriculum, take a greater program and the structure and the relationship.
So it's being run through like North Country Career Center. Is that the?
No, Emily's the consultant.
Okay.
She's the one she didn't win finally, but she's the one who's really built a Vermont curriculum for Envirothon, and that's going to interface really well with this flexible pathway structure.
Okay.
So she works at the North Country.
Yeah, she's 4-H, she's at FA, and but she's not doing flex path there either, so she'll be our pilot.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And yeah, I would be interested in if we get we get the position of trying to put the two together in some way.
She joined Sarah Damsel's board last year as
Okay.
well, so it's all very hand in glove.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard anything about this flexible pathways thing so I don't think the districts are doing it
They're
together.
definitely not doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're going to create a template
Okay.
with a bunch of like projects, cookie cutter, so that this can be offered to high schools.
Okay.
Trotted out to school boards.
Yeah. We'll definitely obviously you'll know whether we get this RFP or not, and then we can move forward. Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions on this? If not, I'll move on to the work plan.
Well, 1 million out of 9 million applied. 1 million secured.
Yeah.
And we got a few still out there.
She's still
pending.
out there. And some like the QUISP ones in particular sometimes come in like we'll apply for the amount that's listed, but we actually take in less because we over budget and then don't typically need all the money that they allot to us. And so like the $2,000 for the Basin 7 QUISP, a line, it's like the 4th line from the top, Basin 7, Westford Town Forest. We only use like, I think $800 of that because we did one field visit and it was pretty clear that there were no projects there. And so we didn't really need to do any follow-up. So like we didn't actually end up using all $2,000 of that. That project is actually opened and already closed this year. So that's true for some of these others too. So just because we have $1 million allocated to us doesn't mean that we're spending much.
Right.
because most of them are reimbursable. Trips. Okay. So the next page is the beginning of the work plan, which I think is 3 pages long. And let me see if I can pull that up for the people online. I actually see it here. There it is. Okay. Folks online. So the work plan is basically just, and I won't belabor this too much.
Where are we doing? I'm sorry.
So the first page is one that looks like this. It's got a big black bar down the middle of it. Left is the staff. It's the same staff that are here. I don't anticipate adding anybody this coming year. And hopefully we don't lose anybody either from the funding wise. There's no reason we should lose anybody but that nobody decides to move on to other things. On the right, you just have the active grant agreements. With links, and this is as much for me and for Pat as it is for just to have everything in one place. Moving on to the next page, if you flip over, then like kind of taking those grant revenues, we then have the projects that we have slated for this year. So district managed, that's all on that left column, and I can scroll down for the people online. District management, sort of the day-to-day stuff, budgeting, planning, board meetings, all that kind of stuff. That's me, funded by core services and other unrestricted funds. Then we have the tree sale, which we will fund as we have in the past through unrestricted funds and hopefully make all our money back plus some. That's always the idea, and everyone's involved with that. The annual dinner was great last year, and we're doing it again this year. That planning's already started, so it'll be some of the board members plus the 4 of us, mostly me, but like day of will be the 4 of us as with last year, and that's again unrestricted funds. If I recall, Pat, we didn't lose any money on the annual dinner last year, which was great, and then we're hoping to do the same thing this year. The nursery, that is like a slow roll project that continues to roll. We did get some money from UVM, Leahy Institute for Rural Partnerships, to keep building that out with Winooski Valley Parks District at their Colchester Pond locations. We'll be working with UVM and the Parks District to do some soil testing, look for invasives, kind of figure out what the next steps are logistically for getting that started.
And just a note on that, I'm in touch with the Intervale. They've got amazing nursery equipment that they're willing to share with us.
Yep.
Of course, their constituents.
Yeah, and we can get free seats from them. There's a whole bunch of ways that they're willing to support us.
They've got a big tree transplanter.
Right. We won't be doing any planting this year, right? This is still a logistics investigation phase. So we won't be getting anything in the ground this year up there. And we still need to also work with the Parks District to figure out like roles and responsibilities and how do we share costs and how do we share profits and like,
or whatever you're going to.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a lease because it's their property already. And so, but all that has to be worked out. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Envirothon, as we just talked, this is kind of up in the air, but we hope to be the coordinators and continue that last year, and that will be mostly Lucas with a little bit of me. Which I call cover replacement, hoping to finish that out this year. I'm really, really hopeful that will happen before the end of the in-stream work window. We have talked to DEC, the Rivers program, about maybe extending the work window to get it done this year, and they were open to it. We don't have anything official from them, but they were open to that, making that happen. And that's a project that I manage. Real pond dam removal, we have to go do more with the engineering, and so it'll be a winter of engineering and raising money, and then hopefully that happens in this next spring. I'm the one working on that. We talked a little bit about follow-up projects for Lake Iroquois Watershed Action Plan. That's that Shadow Lane project we've never been able to get funded, but we'll also continue looking into other projects that popped up on that action plan to see if we can get those funded. There'll be some trees for streams plantings. Usually we do 2 of those a year. That's not like a hard and fast number. If a third one came up, we could do a third one, but we'll likely looking at 2 of those, and that will be Lucas. The stormwater site assessments, lake-wise, stream-wise, storm smart will continue to happen through this summer, and then we'll apply again for funding to continue them next summer. And I don't anticipate there'll be any issues with with getting that funding. We've made good headway on what we have promised to do this summer already. We're about halfway done our storm smart. We've done, I think, 1 stream-wise, and we're
Working on, yeah.
taking a bite
Lake-wise
out of the
and
lake-wise. Yeah, I think we've promised 10 storm smart, 10 lake-wise, and then 5 stream-wise. And so we're at 5 storm smart, a couple of lake-wise, and then 1
We're
stream-wise.
at 8 storm smart.
Oh, 8
now,
storm smart, nice.
1 streamwise and then 0 lake-wise, but kind of where I predicted to be.
We've got the rest of the summer, so I think we'll be okay. But we plan on doing that again next summer. The Yes Tomorrow grant for the developing these green stormwater infrastructure courses, that grant's closing out. Yeah, LCBP has declined to continue to fund it on 2 different occasions. So now we're trying to figure out funding to keep that moving forward. We're gonna maybe go to LCBP directly to see if they can just set aside some extra money for us that's not part of a competitive grant program. This work dovetails really closely with the unifying the Storm Smart Lake-wise projects, because it's like training the people to actually complete those projects, and LCBP funds both of those things. So it makes sense for them to continue funding this. So that's something we're going to try to pitch to them. Maybe give us a little bit of money to keep this going. Our other thought was to have Yes Tomorrow just run the courses as ordinary courses that people pay for, because right now they're subsidized, they're free. That's because of the LCBP funding. So that's all stuff that we'll continue to try to work out this coming year. But that grant as is kind of wrapping up right now. I'm writing the final report and so on.
I just did nice work with that, because as you recall, that was one of those grants that this was hanging out.
It was, yeah, it
Thank you
was.
thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. It really has. Next page, and for the people online, I can scroll down. We are on Clean Water Service Provider. Yeah. And I'm sorry for the typo. It says Clean Water Certified Provider, Clean Water Service Providers project scoping. So that money is just sitting there, the Clean Water Service Provider money. And so we're always on the lookout for projects that we can then apply for money to fund. So doing some of that scoping work, we don't really they have project development money. So you can ask them for some money to then scope projects, but you need a little bit of an idea. So some of that's just general funds that we use to like get some ideas, and then we can apply for some more money to flesh it out. Where we've been in the process this summer, myself, Lucas, and Delaney, of going back to plantings that the district has done within the past 10 years to see if they can be adopted by the Clean Water Program, which basically would give us money to go back and maintain them, to replant trees that die, to remove invasives, that kind of stuff. And we've identified probably 3 sites so far that we think are good fits, and we'll continue to search for others. It's been fun to go back to plantings that were done a decade ago and see what they look like, and meet some of the people that the district has interacted with over the past 10 years. But so we'll continue all that work. We have direct funding from the QUISP to fund that work. So that's funded work. Tactical basin planning. That funds a lot of my time working with the Basin Water Quality Councils, Shelburne Pond water sampling for CARA. The twist for this year was trying to work with lake associations to set up breeder programs. That's something that came up in our Sabin Pond LWAP, was that they're worried about invasive species but don't have a breeder program. And so trying to stand up those breeder programs with the help of the state at a number of lakes in our district. So that's something like a special project we'll be working on for that. Otherwise, it's the same tactile basin planning stuff that we've been doing. Strategic Wood Addition. This is another project that's been on the books since I took this job. And Red Star keeps telling me they're about to do it. And they told me they'd do it this summer, and it's still the summer, but I'll be emailing them in a couple of weeks to let them know that they need to get it done, because we've already extended it once. They're supposed to do it last fall, and we extended the agreement, and they really need to get it done. So that's a project with Red Star to do wood addition up in the headwaters, up kind of by Lake Elmore, really at the edge of our district. But that should happen this late summer or fall. Pay for performance. So we're in the second iteration of that ag program. it's changed a little bit, and eligibility in particular has changed a good deal. So we've been working, Kara and Heather have been working with the producers who are already a part of that program to try to get them re-enrolled, or at least to get them to test the waters to see how much money they're going to get and decide whether they want to participate in this or participate in an equivalent or similar NRCS program. And we're just trying to help them do what's best for their farm, basically. So that today, I think, is the deadline for the farmers to apply. And then we'll know in a couple of weeks how many farms in our district will be serving through this program. And then we'll have a contract and a dollar amount for that, but we don't have any of that yet because of the timing. The Vermont Agricultural Water Quality Partnership also renewed this year. It's been scaled down a little bit. We had been running 2 in-person meetings a year, and now it's just 1 in-person meeting a year to get together the various different groups that work on agriculture and water quality and talk about how we can collaborate better. Locally led will happen as it's happened in the past. We've typically done 2 meetings, one in Chittenden County, one in Washington County. We'll do the same likely, and we'll have a survey as well.
Rick and I have been working with Claire Ireland to develop a proposal for an agency of ag staffer to support both our district and the White River District to basically promote the local area.
Totally. And then we'll talk, that's on the agenda for a little bit lower, but we'll talk about some updates for that. Local funding pools, we've got 3 of them that are active, and Heather's been kind of spearheading that for the most part. And those will continue to move forward. We've got the farms along the main stem in Richmond area that have some riprapping and other bank stabilization practices that will go in. That is in engineering right now.
They have appointed the funds and their contracts to do the engineering. We're gonna have a check-in meeting the 21st of July.
That's right. You invited me to that check-in meeting. I saw that.
So that's where that's at.
That's a very happy thing. This was another grant that when I came and started this job was kind of sitting in limbo, and Mary Beth can attest to that we're really, really happy that this is moving forward and making progress. The other local fund pool that we have that's active is the small scale riparian plantings, and we have those went to contract last, or some of them went to contract last week, or
Yeah, so the deadline for contracting was for just getting the pre-approvals done was July 15th. So we're a little past that now. We had an extension for 1, but everyone is in the contracting phase that want to move forward to contracting.
So that's a happy thing. And then this,
How many?
Yeah, so it's taking away all my bread and butter from my talk. But anyways, so we had 7 that were moving forward. 1 got removed for ineligibility purposes. Then 2 applicants of the 6 ended up canceling contract signing due to a move and family concerns. So that leaves us with 4 that are going to be contracted this year through locally led. And then we also helped with EQIP as well. There's 1 that got funded through EQIP.
So well done. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. So not as many as we hoped. But alas, it's good if people don't really want to move forward with contracts, not to get them signed and move forward with contracts. So and if they move, they obviously can't do it. So
now, does that leave us room for additional farm support in our local funding pool once we find out if we get those numbers? Now?
that money gets allocated by NRCS elsewhere. So it's money that sorry, go ahead.
Well, it all gets redistributed throughout the zone, right?
Yeah.
So it's money that'll still be spent within our area, but if they're
But not through us.
Correct.
not through the district, right? Not through the locally led funding pool, but as it comes down to pre-approvals, we didn't spend the amount that was in the pre-approval allotment that was in the local fund pool to begin with. So that money already got reallocated, but the ones that didn't get to contract stage, as I understand it, those funds will get redistributed as well. So there might be 1 more pre-approval that happens in the central zone due to contracts that don't move forward to signing. So we'll see, but that's all for the state office to figure out.
Yeah, right. And then we will be beginning advertising for our local fund pool for this year. So once we get a sense from state NRCS and have a sense of the dollar amount and we'll need some approvals. Something new this year is we'll need some approvals on our advertising materials from NRCS, which was not the case last year. So we'll have to run by our materials or run our materials by them first, but we can start that process hopefully by the end of this month and starting getting people aware of the grazing improvements program that we're going to run, and then get people enrolled or starting that process. So that will be something we work on this year. This riparian buffer research, if we get that grant, that will be something that starts in January of 2027. That's when that grant would start.
That's the food and agriculture.
Yeah, correct. Yep. So that's depending whether or not that money comes in. Both Kara and Heather plan to move up a level in their conservation planner certification. So those are things they'll be working on, are already working on, and will continue to work on in this coming year. The NACDTA grants, which fund basically our time working with NRCS on their contracts and programs that get divvied up to us, and on the local fund pool work. Those have been in limbo for a while. The administration has basically put a freeze on cooperative agreements while they get reviewed. And that review is not yet complete. I think that what's trickling down is that there will be more NACDTA grants. It's just not sure when and how much money. So that's something to keep an eye on, because it does take up a good bit of our time. And we're just in a bit of a holding pattern about that money.
Sorry, I just don't see it on the agenda. The opportunity for our favorite ladies to go to Abe Collins event, which is coming right up. And if that was ever discussed, if there's interest in time.
Yeah, I ran it by them. It's up to the two of them if they have time and are able to go. We do, correct.
I mean, it is so cutting edge. Yeah. Okay. Me and Graham might go too.
So yeah. And then the last thing on here is interns. Every year we host interns. I plan to host interns again this year. I think it's good for the district, and it does increase our capacity. Thank you, Delaney. But it's also, I think, partly our responsibility to help train the next generation of natural resource and agricultural professionals, right? So whether it increased our capacity substantially or not, I still think it's something we should be doing. But thankfully, Delaney's been a very good summer intern, so, and has increased our capacity. Any questions about the work plan and the projects we'll be working on this year?
Just for those of you that haven't, there are 27 rows that you just ran us through. So
we do a lot of the district.
that is a lot. And, hats off to all of you for all of your work and keeping track of it, and doing such great work.
Congratulations.
27. Okay.
We'll be busy. We will be busy for sure. And then I'm sorry, Pat, the last sheet I have here is projected income for 2027 and projected contractual expenses. And that should be back here.
I have to start handing out magnifying glasses.
I know. I try to save paper by getting it all in one sheet, and then it turns out to be super tiny. So
11 by 17, fold it in half. Was just a suggestion for the
yeah, 11 by 17. Sorry, people online. I'm just trying to get it up for you.
So this is the income and
This is projected income and contractual expenses for the coming year, and this is what Pat kind of built a good bit of our budget around, which
That's
is
the number I
Whoa, almost two.
sorry,
Extra
folks.
large.
Yeah, sorry, folks online. I'm just trying to zoom in here.
We used the 1,740,000.
Yeah, the lower number, right? Yeah.
And we gave your projected contractual on that too. So
Yeah,
that's
I did.
included in the draft.
Okay.
Folks online, you should be able to start seeing it in just a second.
I did make my report bigger for you.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. So this is in some ways a replication of that first sheet, the grants that we won this past year that will then be applied the coming year, but with just the portion of those grants that we expect to spend in the coming year.
Yeah.
And then the portion of that incoming money that's going to go out to somebody else and is not ours, right? That's the contractual part. So
Okay.
some of these grants, it's 95% of the money is in ours. It comes in and goes out to an engineer or to an earth moving contractor or whatever, right? But in other cases, like the tactical basin planning, we keep basically all of it for us as to support staffing. So the different grants and different projects have different percentages that will get doled out to others. But and if you want me to run down this again, or if you just, yeah, thanks.
I can tell you this could be a really also helpful internal document for you all to keep track. I mean, this is a lot to keep track of. So I appreciate how organized this is.
But everything has to be backed with a justification, and,
Right.
and that's all they ask for is
Right.
a justification.
And again, sorry, go ahead.
Again, it's the numbers are impressive, including those numbers that go out as contracts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Those are most of these big construction projects. Like a dam removal costs a
Yeah.
lot of money. A
understood.
culvert replacement costs a lot of money.
It also costs money to administer the money that we receive and
That's
then
true.
get rid of.
That's
So,
true.
Okay.
If there are no questions, we can move on to Pat, and let me just pull that up for,
Again, this is a draft budget. Dan, I still have to finalize a couple of things, including the carryover from this past fiscal year. So we can move down into the expenses. I mean, we are carrying a little bit more for the tree sale this year in terms of income. Again, we're being optimistic. It's kind of a average between the past 2 years. And for some reason, this year was just a little flat.
it was a little flat.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So we're looking at total income of $1,780,000. In terms of personnel and payroll, base the wages on existing staff. And again, we're taking into account the new wage scale from the state, which is in effect July 12th. It's interesting, this pay scale that they put out is only for 6 months.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
it's very interesting that that ends in January. So there may be another
Another increase.
scale coming out.
I don't know,
I don't
yeah.
know. I've never seen that. So we have the payroll taxes, the health insurance contribution, the healthcare stipends, the employer contribution and payroll processing, total personnel, 320,749. If you look at last year, it is an increase. Last year, 291,900 was the actual.
Okay.
But again, take into account the cost of living increase coming up and potential increases, merit increases. Tree sale expenses, looking at similar to this year, 22,250. Again, direct project pass-throughs, for the most part, based on this previous year. Again, the contractual is what Dan is anticipating. Total project expenses, 1,376,962. Accounting, bookkeeping, there's no increase there. I did come in under budget last year. Bank fees, don't anticipate anything there. Advertising is basic for the board elections, board supervisor elections.
Yep.
VACD dues, the LCT dues, NAC dues. Don't see really any increase there. Insurance, workers' comp, again, that's estimated. We're still waiting for the results of last calendar year's audit from the LCTA on workman's comp. So they're a little behind.
Yeah.
Internet stays the same, annual meeting, again, basically based on this previous year. Mileage reimbursement, again, based on this year. For supplies. Okay, training staff, I'm gonna change that to what you guys prefer, which is what professional development.
Yeah.
And so what I did do there was base it on a $1,500 allowance per employee, not a stipend. I don't like stipends. Stipends are taxable. They're taxable to the district as well. So it's an allowance that they can spend up to $1,500. Again, with approval from the board and supervisor as far as the training.
Yep. Cool.
Subscriptions, again, that's primarily QuickBooks and Google. The website, we're still working down our prepaid expense on that. That's a monthly flat rate right now. So total operational expenses, 47,000. Total expenses, 1,766,984. I apologize, that net income number should be 13,015.32 on the bottom.
Oh,
15.
instead of 72.
Yes, yes.
Can I ask what's the deal with these here, Board of Supervisor stipends?
Yeah, we're getting to that later in the
Okay.
meeting. Yeah.
And again, that number's high because now we're only needing the other one.
Mhm. So, Pat, the training staff parentheses, I just wrote down as an allowance. 6,000 is right.
Yeah,
So
Or
basing it on 1,500 per employee.
I think that's a proposal. Yeah. We can nay or more, or I think that was a discussion for this meeting, and that's the proposal as in a draft budget. form,
Yeah, because
right.
in last year's budget, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no money for,
Correct.
Yeah, because,
but there's a lot of
Nobody came up with
interest
a
in professional
justification.
development.
but now there's some interest. of-
Right,
Yeah.
so this seems logical to me, and it seems like we can. afford
And
it.
again, it's a reimbursement.
Yeah.
So expense.
Could we structure it a little loose so that with the 1,500 base and then staff can apply for additional professional development funds and the board can approve it?
I think the 15, because they get a lot of training already as part of their ordinary work. I think the 1,500 is
Pretty
good.
good.
Is pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I think my opinion is we should start there. We'll still see how it goes, but
Does that 1,500 account for the time spent on the professional development as well, or is that just?
Well,
the
under
cost?
the Fair Labor Standards Act, if the training is during your normal work hours, yes, you will be paid. If it's after hours, not.
Mhm. Okay.
I mean, if you want to juggle your day, so that if you're going to an evening class, you take the morning off and go to the evening class, that's fine. That's up, that's up to Dan and you.
I would be fine with that. So yeah, it would be a combination. If it's a class, hypothetically, right, it would pay for the class and then whatever's left over for time, right?
or certain number of credit hours if the course is more, right? So you had a
Well-
course that cost 3,000 based on 3 credit hours, 1,000 an hour, credit hour.
Right,
We could cover 15.
right. And in that case, there would be nothing left over to cover staff to like the time taking it, right? And it wouldn't be, this would not be a requirement that people use this money.
Yeah, right.
It's something available to
It's an
you
opportunity.
if you'd like to use it.
You can
Like I
take me out to
said.
dinner instead.
Yeah, you go to trainings all the time anyway. This would be something like kind of more above and beyond, if of interest. So,
And also, it's for the fiscal year. So if you don't use it, you can't carry
it doesn't roll over, yeah.
right?
And it,
So I think it's a good starting point for us. We can afford it at this level and maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down, I don't know, but I think it is important to have it and offer it. So, so if you see something out there that is of interest, yeah. Work with Dan.
Dan, there was conversation a few board meetings ago about like enrolling in classes, and then it was sort of like a gray area, like we didn't have an established amount of money, but it was just like people could take classes if they were interested, and it would just be like somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000.
So it's gonna, this is
Okay,
what
this is it. So it's
yeah.
not like I'm taking a class now. It's not like retroactively from the previous.
We can talk. If you're in the middle of the
Okay.
class right now, I'm
Yeah.
fine with you using, if the class is still going on, right?
Yeah. Okay.
What are you taking?
I'm taking, it's an evolutionary biology course through CCB. Yeah. It just is pretty, aligns pretty well with the work that I do.
And economical, that's easy.
Yeah. It's mostly forest ecology, forest biology and stuff, so.
So yeah, and I imagine the way this would work is it would just show up on expense reports as the way to get reimbursed for it.
Chat more.
Yep. So yeah, any questions for Pat or myself?
So Pat, you mentioned earlier, as you ran down through this, the state of Vermont pay scale goes to the end of December, right? So
Again,
can-
I don't know what's gonna happen after.
afterwards, I suspect it has something to do with the Vermont State Employees Association.
Yeah.
The contract that the association works out with.
Yeah.
The governor and who knows who's else, but
Maybe they've changed their pay scale that it's gonna run from January to December. I mean, like, you know, if they're getting on that schedule, I don't know.
yeah.
And this is just interim.
So I guess, are you feeling that for the period January to June of 27, we have net income 13,000, so we've got some cushion.
Yeah.
To anticipate being able to accommodate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the state of Vermont pay scale will adjust, but it won't be, 3, 4, 5%, won't be greater than that.
Yeah, and we're carrying total almost $30,000 above this past year actual. So I think that we're pretty comfortable.
Okay.
with that. I mean, I'll know better in January. And if we have to make an adjustment, we'll go there.
Yeah.
Again, this is just a guide. And as you can see from the net, we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. When you talk about additional money for training and that kind of thing, we're looking at a net of only 13,000.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little careful.
And just
We're
so-
not in this to make money. We're not in this to make profit. We are a service, a government service.
also under wages, they reflect the state of, the pay scale. And you mentioned something about, later on in the meeting, we'll have a discussion about merit raises, but
Yeah, it's a guesstimate. Yeah,
okay.
Again, until I see the actual.
Yeah, right.
So again, this is a draft. Like I said, Dan and I are gonna sit down and talk about the carryover and, the September meeting.
September, yeah,
That's fine,
yeah.
Okay,
if that's acceptable.
so we don't need to have a motion to approve this
I
at
would-
this point.
I would, well,
It's up to you. I think last year you approved
Yeah.
it, the draft,
Yeah.
but if you want to see a better, like a revised version in September and approve that one, that's fine too. Or you could approve both, right? You could approve the draft now and then, again, it's up to you all. Last year you approved this draft,
I mean,
but
this is really a crunch to get this out 15 days after the close of a fiscal year. So that's why we call it a draft.
I'll make a motion to approve this draft budget.
Draft
and then
budget.
we'll look at the numbers again.
Is there a second? Seconded by Russ. Any further discussion on the draft FY 27 budget as presented? Thank you, Dan and Pat, for pulling all that together.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Any online, if anyone's, I don't know if they're still here. I think they left already. Yep. I was asked if they wanted to abstain, but they're gone. It's just Mary Beth and Dan Hemingway online now.
Okay. So that moves us to the next item. It's 11:15. How are we doing for time? Guess we're doing good.
I hope. I hope good.
So next up would be NRCS and NRCC updates. Mary Beth, if you're still there, you have the floor.
Great, thank you. So I promised Dan I would be brief because this agenda is very big today. So the next item on your agenda, you'll notice it says NRCS Civil Rights Training. I did finally get all the data for that, but I got it 2 days ago. So we are not doing that today. We're going to do that in September. So that'll shorten your agenda quite a bit. What I plan to do, though, is send out all those papers to Dan so that he can get them out to you prior to the September meeting. I didn't have time to do that since they literally got me the packet on Monday. Actually, it came last Friday. I was on vacation. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So NRCS report, like I said, I'll keep this brief. I wanted you to all know that we have a new chief of NRCS, Colton Buckley, has been appointed by our president to be the chief of NRCS. He comes on board with quite an agricultural background, which is great. Changed up a few things. I know a lot of people who've been around for a while always knew NRCS as helping people help the land. We have a new motto, keeping working lands in working hands. He also has come up with 7 priorities. We have been working under 5 up till now. Those priorities, the 5 are about the same: preserving and protecting agricultural land, shifting to outcome-based conservation and farming, recent field engagement and strengthening technical expertise. Those first 3 are all remain the same. This next one, expanding wildlife conservation and outdoor access. The wording of outdoor access has, been added. We're not sure what that is actually going to entail. Strengthening partnerships by streamlining process and accountability. Optimizing mission delivery by strengthening a workforce culture. And modernizing NRCS infrastructure and technology. Most of those with, when you get a new chief, they tweak wordage, but it pretty much remains the same. But I did want to make sure that you folks knew that. Let's see, some personnel changes that are going to happen. Right now, are my head soil conservationist out of the Berlin office is Sarah Jansen. She is moving to the Williston office. And Johan DeRocher, who's been in the Williston office, is transferring to Berlin. So we're going to have a swap. They're both senior planners, so it's an equal swap. But that swap is literally in the works this week. So that's happening. It really doesn't affect you folks, but you should know who's around and who's able to be contacted in which county. So we're just swapping Chittenden for Washington. Did want to let you know that Chittenden, Washington County got 11 CSP contracts awarded, Conservation Stewardship Program. 3 in Chittenden County, 8 in Washington. We are actively working to get those obligated. I think we only have 3 out of the 11 obligated so far. The deadline for these to be obligated is the end of the month. I can honestly tell you we're probably not going to make that. It most likely will be extended to either the 1st or 2nd week in August. Just because we're backed up on EQIP right now, and EQIP obligation is our priority. But we're working diligently to get these done. The other thing I wanted to mention to this board is that Pam Stefanik from the district manager from the Otter Creek Conservation District Board has retired. Her last day was Friday the 10th. Had a going away party for her on Friday, which was great. The board has interviewed and narrowed down, had 14 people apply for the district manager job, which I thought was phenomenal. Has narrowed that down to 2 folks. So, and we're going to meet again with those folks to make a selection. So hopefully there'll be a new district manager fairly soon. Nothing happens in a hurry, but fairly soon for the Otter Creek Conservation District. Which is good. This is a good thing. Pam retired with holding this position for 30 years. So it's good to be working with somebody new. This will be a good thing for the Otter Creek Conservation District. That is my little update. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. I can easily field questions, or I think most of you anyways, minus the new folks, know how to get in contact with me. And I'm always around.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Oh, hey, only because Dan mentioned this earlier. It was just presented. Sorry, this is hot off the press. It was just presented at the State Technical Committee meeting. The allocation for the locally led conservation proposals that Winooski tentatively, and I'm supposed to emphasize the word tentatively, has been awarded the $800,000.
Nice.
Hey.
Yeah, that meeting's happening right now, right? It's concurrent.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Literally, I was on that one before I was on this one, and I literally got the update. So it was timing was apropos because it was.
I'll have to update the spreadsheet.
It was just
So that's
announced.
for the grazing improvement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still tentative. We have not heard back from until we get 2027 directives on our budget. We can't say yay, yes, but it does say tentatively awarded $800,000 to Winooski, locally led. So it was just announced at State Technical Committee meeting.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
As long as Elon Musk doesn't show up, we'll be good.
You laugh. Anyways, yeah, let's not go there.
All right. I don't think anybody else has any questions or further comments. Mary Beth, thank you.
I thank you guys too, and I will have to hop off here in like 3 minutes because I have another meeting to go to. But yeah, you know where and how to reach me. So, thank you.
All right. So we'll plan on civil rights training in September.
Yeah, we need to get it. We need to get it done. So put it on the agenda, Dan. It will
I
happen.
will. It's been sitting on the agenda.
I know it. I know it
there.
has. I know it has. It is required by law, by our bylaws, through the MOU that I do this. It's just that I just now got it. So we'll get it done.
Totally.
Okay, great. I'll just make a quick update when it comes to NRCC. I'm no longer the Central Supervisory Union representative. I remain the alternate, but the White River District is now sending the Central Supervisory Union representative to council.
It's Kate Willard, right?
Yes. So Kate's doing that for a period of 2 years. Go back to us if we want to do it, and if we don't, then White River can continue to do it for another 2-year period. So that seems to be working out fine. I was with the Council Finance Committee meeting this morning. And so legislature, we've emerged through the legislative session. Legislature awarded $912,000 to council. Most of that money will go to the various districts for what is known as core services activities. And then another notable highlight was the legislature eliminated the restriction for districts when it came to securing mortgages. So within statute, this long-standing prohibition has been eliminated. So districts are now able to pursue and secure mortgages. So I think that's important. Just a small stepping stone in the event that districts want to try to pursue different office and housing arrangements. So hats off to Action Circles, which was our lobbying firm, advocacy firm that was at the legislative session every day, keeping an eye on things for us. Michelle Monroe was also very active at the State House. So I think it was a good year for districts, even though we're still well short of the $3 million need that's been documented before. So that's all I have. The
Excellent.
council.
Cool.
So next up, space.
Space. So this, yeah, like an appropriate sort of follow up. So a couple of things. The internet that we have here, like our private internet, we've been told is not allowed. So we need to get rid of that router.
Comcast.
The Comcast router.
Yeah. I wondered how we got away with it, because I know like White River, I tried to live there, we don't have internet, so don't bother with your laptop.
Yeah. So I don't know either, but they've told us like it's not a rush, but you need to get rid of it. And that comes kind of into another discussion that Lucas, when he was stationed here, had been using that internet with the district laptop. And his federal laptop ended up getting returned, ended up recycling around the time of the government shutdown. And so once that happens, it like wipes itself and you have to get it like reissued. They're now not going to reissue his laptop because he does not work directly on USDA projects. And the new guidance is that they're only going to give resources to those who work directly on USDA projects. So what that means for Lucas is that when in a government building, he has no access to the internet, which makes that space in Williston not super useful to him. I feel like we need to then now talk about an office space for Lucas. Last year during the shutdown, we pursued a number of avenues. I think the most promising one was the Parks District, which was asked for like $200 a month for a desk. We're going to save $100 a month by canceling the internet, right? So it's really going to turn out to be about $100 a month more than we're currently spending. I haven't reached out to them to ask if that offer is still on the table. I wanted to bring it to you all first. But I do think that it's really important for Lucas to have a functioning office space, which he does not currently have, and won't really have because unless he begins working on USDA projects, they're not going to give him a laptop. I talked with Felixia directly about this. I had a meeting on Friday because we had asked for one, right? Since he moved to Williston, we had asked that they reissue one so that he could, work because he no longer has the internet that he had here. And they were dragging their feet. And so I asked for a meeting to just like, can you be a little transparent with us about what's happening? And she told me that the new guidance is that they're not going to give the computers to people who don't work on USDA projects, which he doesn't, right? Neither do I really in any case, besides a little bit of supervision. So I don't know what was my laptop, but I'm not going to tell them that or give my laptop back. If they ask for it back, they can have it. But
Don't ask, don't tell.
yeah, that's going to be my approach to that.
Forgiveness and permission.
Yeah. So I am looking for the board's permission to reach back out to the Parks District and ask if that offer is still on the table.
Nice.
The appealing part about that location was not only the low cost, but also that they would take all of our equipment and stuff, which Lucas uses the lion's share of for rethink runoff and for the tree planting. Some of it will remain in Williston because you two do use it, the sampling probes and some of the buckets for manure sampling and so on. We can talk about how that gets parsed out later, but to have the equipment that he needs in a place that he can actually access feels appropriate.
Yeah, Wilson office is also like a satellite pickup location for La Rosa.
So we'll have to figure that out too. Yeah.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah.
But I don't see any need for either of you to leave the Williston office. My sense from speaking with you is that you value your space there. It's helpful to be able to just go around the corner and talk to somebody about something. And so I feel like we should keep using the space that we have, and it's really just about finding Lucas a desk somewhere.
It sounds like it makes sense. It's too bad that you can't be in the same location. But
Yeah, it's unfortunate. In some ways, we're already spread out a
Yeah.
little bit because I'm not up in that office with the three of them anyway. But yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It'd be better if we could be in
yeah,
the
the
same
park
spot.
district also, for pursuing this nursery where there's a
Yeah.
lot of synergies
Yeah,
that make
yeah.
it really good to be housed there.
Well, I got really good news if this is the segue.
Yeah, now would be the appropriate time if you to talk about it.
I'm pretty sure that we can all move into the Land Access and Opportunity Board offices in Montpelier. This is Jean's office. She's the director of the LAND. How do you like me now?
Makes sense.
For free.
What was that?
That's a helpful
Land
caveat.
Access and Opportunity Board. It's Jean's independent partner department under the Vermont Housing Administration.
That would be up to you. I have no problem staying here. We also have this place for free. So this is up to the board to decide whether they.
It'll be more fun at Jean's.
Yeah.
I would second that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get out of the US.
I can talk to her about it if you guys want me to come back to it. Also.
I can just email her.
Yeah,
directly. She's on the board now.
She's
Yeah.
your girl now.
She's-
That's cool.
It's a good deal from Jean.
Yeah,
directly,
let's do it.
And also,
Well, hopefully I didn't stick my foot in my.
and find out where the office is and what.
Yeah, it's right on the block somewhere.
So Lucas, you have a laptop.
He has this
Yeah,
district
I'm using that
laptop.
one, yeah.
He does not have a federal laptop.
Oh, and then you have the backbone.
That's right. We have a grant from LCBP to buy new laptops for the district. That's in
But those
progress.
I need
are not
mine.
eligible to be
Yeah.
used in the office spaces. They just can't connect to the USDA Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so like this laptop right now only is connected to the internet because we have our own router. I cannot connect this to the federal Wi-Fi. They will not allow it. So once that internet goes away, we'll have to do for board meetings. We'll have to use the federal laptops, I guess.
Well, let's stay here and hassle with their Wi-Fi.
So it's again up to you all. I have no problem staying here. I have a federal laptop. We have some equipment here, so she would need to be able to accommodate a decent amount of stuff
Great.
that we'd be bringing with us if that were to be
Maybe
a
she
move that we
does a
make.
District pickup truck.
A district pickup truck, yeah. So I don't see any real urgent reason for me to leave here, but if you'd like to, we can. I don't tend to interface with much of the NRCS staff in the way that the two of you do. I really just talk to Mary Beth and occasionally send emails to others, like Jim does sit right there, and occasionally I email him, but that's kind of it.
And so, you need a space in Chittenden County, or that would work best.
Because he lives in Colchester. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't going to Montpelier once a week. I wouldn't mind. Like in
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing to consider is if your office is in Montpelier, it will all of your travel will have to be booked from Montpelier. So like all your Rethink Runoff stuff, your mileage will be from Montpelier to
Yes.
some location in Chittenden County, right?
Right.
So you would need to budget that
Yeah.
way as opposed to budgeting from Williston to Essex or you know what I'm saying?
Right,
It changed. That's the biggest change of depending on where he's located is how his mileage sorts out.
Where do you live?
I live in Colchester right now. I had to move from Waterbury.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it might make sense to go ahead and find out if this.
From the
space
Parks
in
District,
Williston- The Parks District is
Yeah.
available. And meanwhile, and you can also, if you want to, talk to Gene and see
Yeah, I'll reach out to Gene.
what
Yeah.
the opportunity might be, but.
Mhm.
then it's-
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing, Henry, with us being co-housed with NRCS.
Yeah.
Good things, bad things.
Yeah.
Every time there's a federal shutdown,
Doors locked.
we're done.
Yeah. Well,
So,
there's a lot of fallow office space in Montpelier with our allies, and in Burlington, there's UVM extension.
We reached out to Extension. They were totally open to taking us. They were going to charge us a decent amount of money for it.
Just for
But
Buddy here to have a desk could be.
it might be,
Yeah.
that's what we had reached out for initially.
okay.
Yeah, is like a desk and some storage
There's
space.
also the
And
agroecology school,
Yeah.
which are more casual folks.
sure. Yeah, no, Extension was totally psyched to have us. They were going to charge us for space at like
What does
the
space
general
at
rate.
VHCB look like? Is it like cubicle space or is it just like one open?
I think she's got a couple offices and a meeting.
Oh,
room.
nice.
Yeah.
Which would also be a plus for, I mean, this.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Right.
ask.
Isn't there-
I'll reach out and I'll
Yeah,
ask.
it's definitely
I'll-
worth finding out
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I'll
right.
ask.
I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to drive from Underhill
Yeah.
to Montpelier.
No way.
Like I would
No.
definitely only be in the office one day a week. if that was the case.
100%. I have no problem
Yeah.
with the two of you keeping your space
Yeah.
if you're happy with it. I'm not trying to push you out of that.
No, it
Um,
sounds like the
yeah.
synergies there
Yeah.
are important to you.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. And heard.
Well, it's
And
just like
yeah.
that's a huge commute, and I used to
Totally.
commute from Charlotte to Montpelier, and that's why I stopped working for Prince.
For Friends of the Ministry, yeah.
So like, I'm just like it's just a
No,
really
no,
long commitment.
No, I understand. And
And it's a capacity drain for the district.
well, and as Rick pointed out, we're not trying to get away from NRCS. We work with them. They're our partners, right?
Yeah.
It's just there are limitations to their space, right? So it's some of good and some of bad in being co-housed with them, right? As it is with any co-housing
Yeah.
situation.
It
So
would be nice to have alternative spaces, like if it was NRCS and a different partner. So
Totally.
if there was a
Yes.
shutdown. And
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
And we've
Yeah.
got 5 laptops we're getting through this, so there'd
Yeah.
always be the opportunity to use, like, you could have your federal laptop for your federal
Yeah.
office, but then
Right.
your district laptop for an office space.
Yeah.
that accommodates
Yeah.
that, so.
or if like during the shutdown when we weren't supposed to use our
Yeah,
federal
exactly,
laptops, right?
yeah.
Like
You could still have.
you could still have that access,
and not
yeah,
have to
so.
use your personal computer.
and
Yep.
what's your meeting room space?
And Williston,
Yeah.
there's a conference. room
It's
where
pretty
we're,
good, yeah.
Getting a smart board in there and everything, so.
Cool.
And we finally got added to the calendar.
Yeah.
There's both events in there. So we don't have to go through FSA to get on their calendar for things.
Yeah.
so. There is a meeting space in there, yeah.
It's a good meeting spot.
And it's right
yeah.
across from Agency of Ag too, which is.
Yeah.
nice
Oh,
for
cool.
those
That
meetings,
works.
so.
So yeah, I don't want to bail on that Williston office.
Yeah.
I feel like that's valuable to us. It just doesn't work for Lucas. That's the only thing, right? So we got to find a solution for that.
Cool.
So we're looking for a motion to take advantage of Winooski Valley Park District.
I just want permission from you all to reach out
Yeah.
and ask them
Yeah,
again.
because we don't know if the offer's still.
If the offer's still on the
doesn't know
table,
if
right?
it's-
Yeah.
I assume that it is,
Yeah.
but I just want to make sure that that what we agreed to before is still something they're willing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe the minutes can just reflect that we support
Yeah.
you, reaching out to them, also talking to Gene Ham, finding a space for Lucas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if it works out for the eastern end of the Winooski district and Gene can be accommodating, yeah, let us know what you
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. I'll
Plenty
let-
more bushes to beat
Yeah.
too, so
Yeah.
don't work out. with
Totally,
that.
yeah. I'll let people know what comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were like when we did this investigation last year, people were interested in hosting us, and
Yeah.
CVRPC also was going to rent us a space for not very much money, like give us a desk. So there are definitely people out there. We just decided, I think at the time, it made sense to just stay,
Yeah.
right? And I think it
Yeah.
still does for the most part. It's just when we don't have a federal computer, the office is basically worthless.
I mean, it sounds like the other thing you're gonna have to add to this space is the internet.
Well, I have a federal computer, so I can
Oh,
use
I
the
see.
internet
Okay,
here.
for you it works, right.
It's fine. For board meetings, we'll have to, I don't know if you can connect it out to a federal computer, so then we're probably fine then. I just have to do it on the federal computer instead of this one.
It's also not, it's, if we take on any other interns, our students are.
True.
help out,
Yeah.
Like it's.
True.
they-
It's an
the
office
only
space they can use
People that have
because,
access are
Yeah.
people that are,
Cool.
or
Yeah.
Did you go
yeah.
through NRCS background?
he did. Yeah, he's cleared. So he,
All
and this
10
is
months
the,
of it.
and this is the thing. He's cleared. He is cleared to work in that office. They have no problem with him working in the Williston office. He just can't have a computer that will allow him to access the internet in that office, which is, does not
It's
make
a
it a very
storage
useful
space for
office.
us.
Yeah.
So
You
they
can
have,
sharpen your pencils there.
yeah. So yeah, they have no issues with him showing up to work there. He just, I don't know how he's gonna work
Can't
in
use
this.
the printer.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Okay, done.
You
Yeah.
didn't have to go through background.
no.
Yeah. Okay. So let us know.
I will. I'll reach out and I'll let people know.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So the next thing is just program updates. I told people to be brief because it's already a long meeting. I kind of did this already. Some of the major construction projects, Enos and Partridge Hill Road. We had the RFP go out for a construction contractor. The final plans are done for that. We had a pre-bid meeting with one person showing up. Those proposals are due at the end of this week. Friday, I believe, is when the proposals are due. And I anticipate that person applying or putting in a proposal, and hopefully it's within our budget. And then the plan would be that would start more or less immediately, and that project would just get underway and get done. Woodchuck Hollow, we're kind of on schedule, kind of behind. There's been some delays with the engineers and my being on paternity leave for a little while. We're still getting the RFP out for a construction contractor to actually do that work. Those designs are also finished. They've been finished for like 8 months. It's just about getting somebody to do the work. There are really, really long lead times on precast culverts. That's our biggest concern. And I just got the quote for that culvert yesterday, and it's like $60,000 more than what the engineers thought it was going to be. So that's also not exciting. I haven't worked out what that means for our budget yet. I probably won't have time today or tomorrow, but maybe Friday I'll get into that and figure out if we have enough money to do that. So that was really disappointing to see that. Even if we do have enough money, we will be pushing the in-stream work window and may need to apply for an extension of that window. Again, the Rivers program was open to it because they're supportive of the project, and it should be a pretty quick project. But we would still need formal permission. Rulo, sorry, go ahead.
Woodchuck Hollow, is that near Hans Mill?
Right up the stream, like maybe a mile upstream from the dam.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it's a connected project.
Yeah.
Along with that is also a study of another culvert upstream of that one, Maury Road. And that's just in the planning phase though, just designs. We gave that contract to Stone, and I think they've finished their 30%, though I haven't seen them yet. Rulo Pond Dam in Williamstown, kind of mired in issues. During the federal shutdown, we had a bunch of meetings and decided to move forward some plans. When the Fed folks came back, U.S. Fish and Wildlife was not excited with those plans, and it's kind of put us, made a little bit of a stink about them. And so we needed to go back to the drawing board and redo some of those plans for fish passage purposes. So we've got another 6 months of engineering. And then in the end, we still don't have enough money probably to do the work, even if the engineering designs were done. So that's a next year project. So but it's been disappointing with the back and forth with the engineers and the biologists to get things right. It's been a little bit frustrating. And then Silly Hill Dam is a dam removal that potential dam removal that we took on. Right now, we're working with Fish and Wildlife and VNRC to do a study for the town of Jericho. To study full removal, like you can get a cost estimate, a partial removal, a do nothing, and then there's some opposition in the town to removing it. And so we've also included a rehabilitation repair option in that study to see how much it would cost to repair the dam. That Fitzgerald is the one doing in UVM. So UVM's doing the historic work. Fitzgerald is doing the engineering part of the study. We've had some issues with the landowners adjacent to the dam. They're some of the most opposed. They initially like basically denied us access. They like kind of got together and denied us access to the dam last week. They are more amenable since we've been talking to them, and I'm hoping that next week the engineers will be able to get out there and take the survey data that they need to do what they need to do. So it's been a bit contentious, and I'm sure that once we have more data, it will be more contentious, and we present this at the select board meeting. I have no idea what the town's going to decide, whether to remove it or not. So we're getting paid. My time for this is getting paid through like the Fish and Wildlife cooperative agreement that VNRC has. Our cooperative agreement with Fish and Wildlife expired last year, and they haven't been able to renew it yet. I'm hopeful that at some point in the future we'll be able to renew it, but not right now. But others still have active cooperative agreements, and so the money is coming from that to pay for my time, and then we've found some other money other places.
Is it a dam safety question?
Potentially. The dam is not in good condition. So it was not, the most recent dam inspections basically said that it was not like a super high hazard, mostly because there's not really anything downstream of the dam. But that the dam was in very poor condition. And if you go and look at it, Celia Hill in Jericho, and look at the dam, there's like a bridge that goes right next to it. It's in bad condition. Those who want to keep it mostly for historic reasons. It did power a box factory that was really important to the town for a lot of years. That factory is no longer there or active, but it's a part of the history of the town, right? So they don't want to remove it for those reasons. And then those around the dam are a little bit concerned about what will happen to their property after the dam is removed, if it will cause additional flooding, or if it will the river will eat up some of their land. So there's a couple of reasons why people are potentially opposed to removing it. I think the town is a bit concerned about its own potential liability. They're the presumptive owners. I think ownership has not been fully determined, but the town is assuming that it's the owner of the dam and is moving forward accordingly. So it's complicated.
Yeah.
But if the dam gets removed, it opens up, I think, like 30 miles of upstream habitat. It's a really big deal if the dam were to come out for aquatic organism passage. So
How late are we going?
1.
Okay.
That's all I've got. Questions?
Well, certainly our Hands Mill project for folks in Jericho. We've seen what an old,
Yeah.
close to failing dam can do.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
we've seen how we can reflect the historic nature of the property. So
There's one resident who's been very clear that he will basically going to do everything in his power to prevent the dam from coming out. So there's, regardless of any safety concerns, he really likes the dam. So so it will be a contentious project, I think, to the end, whether it gets removed or not.
I'm wondering if I can jump stack with my little section. I gotta go meet my partner and she's gonna look at the kids in a minute.
That's fine with me. If you want to give your updates on supervisory union collab stuff.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. You guys are all invited on August 4th and 5th to establishing a public state bank conference that Jen Byrne is organizing. Have you all seen that?
Yeah, she sent it out, I think, yesterday.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's really appropriate for us to be very lucrative. And I think the conservation districts are the institution that could actually pass this bill, because we could benefit so much from it and our farmers can benefit so much from it. I'm going to go work with World Vermont Rising this afternoon. I've been showing up. They know that I'm Winooski District. They know I don't represent us. I'm trying to find us collaborators. They're basically unifying around opposition to Act 181 and 59. If it's cool, I'll keep y'all updated. Amanda Janelle is an economist competing for the right to govern the state. And she's awesome. I've been meeting with her. I'll go in tubing on the White River on Saturday. We are not a 501c3.
That's correct.
And we can endorse a candidate. I don't want to do it right now, but I'm going to propose to y'all that we formally endorse Amanda Janelle So I'll send you guys some stuff.
I think we should not.
I'm gonna send you some stuff, but
I-
she's hotter than everybody else and she's got our back. I am building her platform personally.
That might be true. I think that as a group that represents all of the residents in our district, we should not be endorsing political
I
candidates.
disagree and I'm gonna send a proposal. Megan Giroux is a great partner. She is my.
Henry, is this all the supervisor?
Yeah, I think you're on here
Yeah.
for supervisory union stuff.
There's all supervisor union.
No, like the collab, like with White
The
River and
proposal.
Claire, the proposal.
Oh, you wanna talk about, excuse me.
That's what you're on here for. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So Jen backed out for a second. Me and Rick talked to Claire Ireland. We came up with this super bare bones, awesome proposal that if we could get an agency of ag staffer through this statute that we would not pay for it, they would have to pay for it. Because what point is there us paying for it? And that it would just support the locally led process in each district as determined by the board and manager. Period. Jen's super pumped about it. Claire is supposed to be talking to agency of ag folks, tweaking the proposal and getting back to us with a polished proposal and answers to our questions.
No. Looking forward to seeing what comes of this.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
And so the ag agency would find the money to fund.
This is the idea. Yeah.
Hopefully
This is the
Hopefully
idea.
they donate 5 hours a week per district
Yeah.
of an existing
Yeah,
staff member.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's our
No, I
proposal.
think
Yeah.
it's a great proposal.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
see what comes of it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
Can I just give you guys 3 more quick updates? Run away? Or if you're tight for time.
Well, I think we're pretty tight for today.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll just keep my little secrets then. Thanks. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. Thank y'all so much. We're cooking. We are really cooking. I'm so excited. All right, I'll see you soon,
Yep.
sir, and I hope to see all the rest of you.
Thanks,
soon.
Henry.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
enthusiasm.
Oh my God, I can't
Yep.
help it.
All right, Lucas, unifying stormwater update.
Yeah. I'll give a
5
quick-
minutes, go.
I don't even think I need 5. Unifying Stormwater, just to reiterate, is our like umbrella technical assistance
Hey, Howard.
program
Oh yeah, you got
that
you.
does Lakewise, which is Lakeshore Assessment, Storm Smart, which is just general technical assistance on
No
on
way.
properties, and then Streamwise is for properties that own land that adjoins
You're either
the side of the
accepted or
stream.
not.
So the goal, as Dan said in our work plan, was 10 Lakewise assessments, 10 Storm Smart, and 5 Streamwise. And we've got 8 already completed for Storm Smart, which is just these assessments can happen anywhere in Chittenden or Washington County. We have focus areas for the Streamwise and the Lakewise. So the Lakewise focus areas, Mallets Bay. We're sort of starting to think about expanding just from Mallets Bay. We had someone from Charlotte reach out from the other side of Colchester. So we're going to see how many we can get in Mallets Bay. I've been working with Delaney a little bit to do some outreach. We've got a couple people reached out from Front Porch Forum stuff, and we're putting out a newsletter blurb. So I'm going up to 1 next week for Lakewise. So 8 Storm Smart completed, 1 Lakewise coming up, and we have 1 Streamwise completed. And the Streamwise is the focus areas are streams that we're monitoring for the La Rosa Partnership Program. So a few of those streams are impaired. Allen Brook, Centennial, and Potash are 3 of the prime focus areas of the 6 streams that we're monitoring. So just looking for even schools, landowners, people with property against the stream. So yeah, looking forward to getting 4 more of those and just writing up the reports. The reports are pretty lengthy. I try and go into detail and throw in pictures and draw and give people a bunch of important resources. Some trends I've been seeing: a lot of honeysuckle everywhere, a lot of knotweed on the streamside property. A lot of just ponding and puddling. Most of the sites for stormwater site assessments that I've done are in Essex, Jericho, and Richmond areas. That's where most of the draw has come from. But yeah, just a lot of talk about like drip line trench, GSI practices, like rain gardens, driveway reconstruction, partnering with neighboring landowners, and it's been really good. So yeah, hit the ground running and looking forward to finishing it off in August, September.
Cool.
Lucas, I'm just back from a trip out to the Pacific Northwest, which included some time in different towns out there, but it made me wonder whether we're dialed into grant and funding programs that are really looking at downtown redevelopment, downtown development. You know, you see traffic bump outs
Yeah.
for downtown improvements. So just wondering if there might be an opportunity to sort of get your nose under the tent on some of these bigger, larger, you know, urban center
Yeah. No, great.
activities that, you know, are meant to improve pedestrian vehicular flow, but might also provide opportunities for, you know, the work that you're trying to see get done. So,
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
I'm
a great
open to
idea.
that. Yeah, like we went this winter to like the CBRPC puts on like a trail maintainers network meeting. It's kind of similar related to like recreation, like overlap of recreation and water quality. And so I think we're thinking that direction. But yeah, urban rather than rural.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess my question to you is what are you noticing that you're not seeing? Like, is it the medians? Like in the medians, you have like rain gardens and like
medians, sidewalks.
sidewalk improvements and just greenery.
I don't know how recent these projects were, but to the extent that there are bump outs for people crossing pedestrian crossings, they've been able to, you know, include what appears to be rain garden type catchments.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything about
No,
the under
definitely.
drainage or anything,
Yeah.
but just as a way to further promote.
No, definitely. I think there may even, I don't know if this is connected, but leverage with Vermont Urban and Community Forestry in some
Potentially.
way.
Yep. I think that's a good
They
question.
have those
Yeah.
like mini grants going out
Yep.
and they have some cool people working there, but yeah, maybe even rethink runoff. I don't know. There is certainly funding to do rain. We put in 2 rain gardens already in the last month, 2 months. I think it's a great idea. I think it's worth researching. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Nothing going on with R-Top this year?
No,
Pretty good.
yeah, I know. Like in the middle of a 3-month drought, it was like the one like major rain event.
Coming up.
But we are
Gotta go.
actually in Burlington. We're gonna do some rain garden revitalization and some invasives.
See you,
going on
thank
that
you.
New like
Thank you.
Champlain Parkway Road. Like that.
What was that?
On Champlain Parkway, that new street, there's gonna be some rain garden work. We're gonna pull some invasives. That's in partnership with the city, and that's happening in September. So that'll be our like Burlington event.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'll set up a table. But we know we had a Milton rain garden going and a Colchester rain garden going in the last month. So if you're in the area, check them out.
Okay, I'll be quick. So we just wrapped up our final ICWIP report yesterday, which is really great. And we've exceeded most of our deliverables for that agreement. Workshops, technical assistance visits, conservation practices, farm teams, all really great things. We ended the grant with some really great events. We did the Bob Lake Farm Tour, which was really great. They took us around and showed us their pastures and their covered barnyard that they got paid for with water quality grants. And we had other farmers come to that and get to learn from them. We did the orange cleanup finally that we've been planning for a year, which was really great. We had 30 or so volunteers from Ben and Jerry's come out and we moved a bunch of debris to the side of the road. That was really successful and the owner was very happy with it. And then we did a bird walk with Audubon to the Charlotte Park Wildlife Refuge, which was really good. So we worked with Audubon, then for the Bob Lake Farm Tour, UVM and Grassland Farmers Association. So some really good partnerships that we'll continue to build on in this next agreement. So we're kind of seamlessly going into our next Ag CWIP agreement. Some new things were added to deliverables, just soil samplings collected, conservation plans developed, and staff certifications, which this is stuff we've been already working on under this agreement. So it's good. It's kind of taken as a deliverable now so they can see all this work we're doing with it. Also for soil sampling, we got permission to work on RPP for soil sampling with NRCS with the Ag CWIP funding, which is really good. And I think, yeah, so just going full force into it. I think between the two of us, Heather and I wrote 5 grants that were due today. So for farmers. So yep.
Send me that
Busy,
info
but-
so I can add it to
Yeah.
the sheet. Thank you.
So these are grants for infrastructure from various sources.
Equipment and then
Yeah.
Vermont Pay for Performance
Yeah.
were 2. The SEED grant and BPFP were 2 that are due today.
Yeah.
So we were helping farmers with that this week. And then other grants, but pasture fence, that has been working on with one of our producers. So yeah, really great things. We're working with EVM Extension soon to do a Russell 2 workshop to help us with NMP. So continuing to foster those relationships. And I was fortunate enough the end of June, first week of July, they did a Conservation 2 training. So I got that out of the way. So all certified in that. And yeah, all good things. Yeah, and then just to further into the next ag program that we're working on a lot is the NSCDTA grant. And then I kind of covered everything else that we've been up to. So for that, we spoke about it briefly already. We had contracts, growth contract. They were due July 15th, so slightly after the date. But anyways, so that's been a lot of work getting all that stuff ready. In addition to that, we've been helping other planners get their contracts ready. We have a vacancy in the Wilson office. Someone left. So there's been lots of planning that they had done that needed to come to contracts. So helping with that. So lots of contract signings, several for us, several for others. Aside from that, there's the check-in meeting plan for the Winooski Main Stem projects. That's 3 producers doing large riprap projects on the Stem for Winooski. They'll be held in Richmond at a producer's farmhouse, which will be great. We'll have the engineering firm that they've selected there to talk about the plans that they're developing. And then the NRCS engineer as well. Dan's invited, my brother's invited, I'll be there, just kind of coordinating. So that's great that that's finally getting kicked off. At least to get the engineering designs done will be a huge weight off everyone's shoulder to know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Whether or not implementation will happen by September is, I think it's totally unrealistic, but we'll see how it goes. Especially like not having a contractor lined up or designs in hand, and I've applied for those state permits to do so. So we'll see, but alas, it's good. There's been momentum on that this year. We're also helping another producer in the town of Richmond that has a very similar project. Wasn't funded through a Blue Led, but working on getting the modifications done for that contract as well, so that they're able to pursue the TA funds that they need to hire the engineering firm. Likely it'll be the same as the 3 others, but just due to timing, they won't be in the meeting, but we'll have a separate one for them. That's kind of main some projects, the riparian projects. Yeah, we only have 4 of those going forward, but I'm confident in most of them. Like Tim Hunt we talked about him a lot. He's in Heinsberg. He has a project that's going forward on his property. He was actually really excited at the end, which was good. So there's a lot of back and forth there. And then 3 other clients as well. We have a large producer in Berlin, which we're excited about, who has a nursery. There's going to be, I think, at his property alone, there's over 5 acres being planted because it's just a huge string network that we're going to dump in the whole thing. So, and that's great because he has the trees, he's going to grow the trees, and he has the people to plant the trees. So the project's going to happen, and it's going to happen well, right? Because he knows what to do. He runs a nursery. So that's really exciting. We have another producer in Charlotte. Not really, anyways, she grows hay, so I guess that counts. Definitely counts. But she has a small section on her property as well that she's hoping to buffer. Not hoping to, she signed a contract and will buffer. So she also has expertise in doing plantings on her property as well. So I did not know that going into the contract signing. So it was really great to get that context from her, knowing that she has the knowledge base to do the thing, which was really great. So I think a lot of these projects won't be as hands-on as I thought, which is really exciting, for just knowing that they'll move forward in a positive direction. There's a couple others, was the Hunt property, actually that one ended up being pretty good too. There was like lots of conversation surrounding what would be acceptable and what wouldn't, but we finally got to a spot where I think everyone's happy there. And then we have one more that has invasive control in it as well, and that was kind of a touch and go project for a little while. There's lots of communication surrounding that. The forester here in Berlin, Spencer Homo, came out, looked at the site right at the time of contract signing. They really confirmed with the landowner that this is something that they want to do. And it was exciting because at last minute I thought they weren't going to sign as well. But it looks like they're going to move. Well, it doesn't. They have moved forward with their contract. They're signed and obligated. So really good stuff there. It'll be nice to see the partnership between like doing the invasive control for 2 years or 3 years of invasive control than the planting. So really a more elaborate project there. And then the 5-year EQIP project with the producer in Berlin with the tree farm. So that's a longer scale project than what we typically plan for. And then 2 1-year contracts, which will just be quick pre-planting. So
Cool.
People are all excited. So all that to be said, 2 people did not sign, but very good reasons. And then we do have the 1 EQIP contract as well that we helped plan. And she was very excited for her high tunnel. So very small scale project. It's neat to go from Addison County with large scale ag and then go and work with smaller scale ag here in Washington County. So it's been a good breadth of work, seeing that come out. Should be good to go for all those. She'll start in the fall. The others will start next. The invasive will start this fall. So high tunnel project, invasives, and then the rest of them will start planting next spring. So all things to come with that. And then the grazing we're excited about as well, especially knowing that we tentatively got approved for the full amount we asked for. So yeah, very excited
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
We
super
definitely have
excited.
a lot of interest in that already as well, which is good. I've been in talks with AFG because they share the office with us in Williston as well. So their representative, Chris Spencer, has been kind of curious about it because he has lots of people that he talks to that are interested in this. So it's like the contracts might not all come through the district, right? But it's like knowing that we've helped get this pot of money to do this work and then helping in any capacity we can will be great. And Karen and I have a site visit end of June with Johan DeRocher, who was the senior planner in Wilson, now Berlin. He's got a project in, I think it's Charlotte Bramble Farm. We're going to go out there and kind of get some boots on the ground, seeing a grazing plan being implemented. So it's exciting, good stuff. And like hopefully with that amount of funding, we can do some good work. Hopefully we're like 6 to 8 applications funded, but that amount might would be reasonable. So
We also medium extension. Yasha took us out to a property to look at their grazing because they kind of knew this was on the list.
Yeah, so lots of interested parties wanting to help people know about this locally led pool, which is different than we were at last year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah.
But a lot. I'm curious if I'm curious if you know off the top of your heads between the two of you how many different producers you're working with, just roughly, because it's. I mean, I'm reflecting back to a few years ago, like you know where we were and where we've come, and don't
Yeah.
if you don't, that's fine. But I'm just thinking about all that you're doing. And
It's a big, at least for me being here for a year and a half now, it's been a big change from when I first started.
Yeah, that's my only point. And
Yeah.
We should try to get that onto
think
our.
about just as a metric.
Well, that's definitely a metric on the Ag Suite tracker for how.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the tracker, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say put it on because we made that like one pager for our
Yes.
annual dinner. Maybe that could be something we get on that
I
one
think that
pager.
would be great.
Um,
There's so much good work.
Yeah.
happening, And we don't need to belabor it now. I don't want to take time, but just saying you're doing a lot of great work. With a lot of different producers, and I'm imagining a lot of different scales and type, you know, just there's a lot of diversity in the people you work with, which is awesome.
I think that's something that's expanded a lot too,
Yeah.
is that cat, for whatever reason, we
Yeah.
end up with a lot of dairies, which
Yeah.
is great, no
Yeah.
issues, but our district has a huge range of
Yes,
different
we
types
do.
of producers, and we definitely expanded who we serve in that regard. I think, and we're always interested in continuing expanding as
Yeah.
well. No maple yet, but maybe someday we'll have some maple
We
producers
had-
too.
yeah.
You got a maple producer now? Good.
Yeah, we got
He's
him
got
for
a little farm. But
Okay.
he also does pasture feed.
Got it.
So
Okay.
We're doing that at Peak Run, so that's what.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But those are all big things
Yeah.
in that one pager that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely worked with a number of people and we still work with those large dairies.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Just all of it.
That's really good.
And people are excited like with the work we've been able to produce and like they've been enjoying the quality of the work that they've been getting back and the timeliness of it and all that. So
Yep.
it's been good.
That's what gets us more people, right?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
told
word of
us,
mouth.
Yeah.
just
Word
kind
of
of-
mouth.
And yeah, it's like the producers we have been working on, we've been working on like different projects with them too,
Yeah.
not just the one thing.
Mhm.
So it's
Especially in the
good.
ag community, word of mouth is really.
Yeah.
nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like
Agreed.
the farm team chair was highlighting too. It's like this idea of like getting all the different entities that they need to work with together to have the
Yes.
conversation. So we've had a couple of those successes too for
Yeah.
like newer producers and just producers
Yes.
that need that extra lift. So
Yeah, that's great. 'Cause it can be overwhelming, all the different ag related.
right. We have at least one new farm like just starting from the ground up, and so I'm very helpful to that person.
Yeah.
When you say grazing, is it rotational grazing? Is it that and other aspects of it, or?
yeah, so it's the whole gamut of it.
Okay.
So it for NRCS that so in order for things to likely move forward with this funding pool, it would really be good for them to have a grazing plan. So working with someone ahead of time before the ranking season to get UVM to work on a grazing plan with them or us, but UVM does a great job and we can help with that. And then normally to get paid on for grazing management, which would be a piece of the puzzle that they could get selected for in the funding pool application would be rotationally based grazing. So they have to move those animals at least 2 times a week for
Mhm.
NRCS standards. And more than that's great, but that's what they're required to in grazing management contract. So then within that grazing net, there's tons of practices that we put into this pool. So like we were restricted on the amount we could do, but we did all of them that we thought that would be applicable in a grazing system. So if someone's going from just getting their grazing plan, wanting to go from like continuous grazing to rotational, we can help them through that whole process with this grazing pool.
Fencing for water quality is another big one.
Yeah,
like
and I mean
keeping
that-
them out of wetlands and so on.
That all goes into it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like all of the, and fencing, you don't get paid for fencing, but you get paid for like those pieces of it.
Right.
You can't just apply for fence. You have to
Right.
apply for the things that fencing supports.
Go with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we're able to lump all that in, which is really exciting. And they don't have to be starting from like the ground up from continuous to rotational or like, just having those resource concerns. But any need that's related to grazing could be addressed. So it's small or large, like a little bit of a fencing project or a whole operation, and that's why the 800,000 will be really good because it gives us the opportunity to help with the big projects and the little projects and everything in between.
Great, okay. Thank you.
Delaney is the last one here.
Yeah, basically adoption, as Ann said, we're checking out sites from about like 10, 12 years ago, we did plantings. We've checked out 3 so far, 2 in Northwood and I believe 1 in Huntington. The results have been mixed. Some areas very successful, other areas not so much. But we are looking to do plantings at those projects and the homeowners are willing to have those plantings. And even at one of them, she's willing for the planting area to be extended as well. The 2 other that we're waiting to hear back from, exhausting all lines of communication. It might come down to just mailing them stuff because I've tried a couple phone numbers and emails and all of them are out of service. Yeah, and then as Linda said, we're doing outreach for Lakewise, Stormstorm, and Streamwise. I contacted the town of Woodbury to try and get a newsletter blurb in, waiting to hear back from them. But otherwise, we're approaching through like involved neighbors and other small organizations there who could help at least spread the word about Lakewise and other organizations. So.
Perfect.
And Heather, were you also involved,
Delaney.
or excuse me, Delaney, are you also involved in that public access, river access in
Walter
Middlesex?
Kelly?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how's that going?
We have a meeting about that soon.
We have a meeting Friday. The RFP went out for a
Mhm.
landscape
Okay.
architect. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Yeah, Friday, the bids, I think we got 3 bids. And
Okay.
we will select them Friday morning. We have a meeting and tell the person, whoever it is. Yeah, they look, I glanced over them. I haven't looked super closely, but they look good. We gave them a budget that they had to stay within.
Yeah.
So that was helpful, I think.
All right, okay. Hopefully all this will keep you out of law school.
Yeah. And I would add, Delaney will finish at the end of this month, so she won't be at our September meeting. So thank you. I want to say thank you for a great internship so far. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate your work.
And you know where we are.
Yeah.
All the work that we have to do.
yeah.
I'm gonna be here for another 2 years.
So,
Yeah.
So if law school, you change your mind on that, keep us in mind.
I'll keep you guys in mind anyway.
yeah. Totally. Yep. Cool. Thanks everybody for the updates. We just already did Henry's portion. I can say cybersecurity training, reach out to Norwich, reach out to Champlain, crickets from both. So I don't know if we want to continue to pursue that or well, what the next steps are for that. But
Okay.
so just as a heads up to you all, I did follow up and we got nothing.
Next up,
Sorry, next up's me too.
handbook revision?
Yeah, handbook revision. So we had presented this last time, this like inclement weather policy that Franklin developed for themselves and then shared with other districts. We looked at it and thought it might be something useful to add, like attach on to our handbook as like maybe an addendum or something. It's at the end of your packet. Most of it's pretty common sense stuff, right? If you hear thunder, you should not be in the field anymore. Watch heat indices, reschedule work if it's the weather's going to be crazy bad, either heat or cold or whatever, right? But just to have some guidance in writing for existing and future staff about safe working conditions, we thought might be good. And so looking for approval to what's in there is the Franklin one, and so I have to edit it to take out the references to Franklin NRCD and change them to us, right? But so looking for approval to add that to the handbook, more or less as is with the change in name. Then we had an instance of jury duty where Heather was summoned for jury duty, which brought up the question of compensation during jury duty time. The interim decision was to compensate her for her time while she was serving jury duty, but wanting to add some official language to the handbook, which is that language there. So what I proposed language is the Winooski Natural Resources Conservation District will compensate staff for the working hours used to satisfy jury duty. And I've added or other similar documentable civic obligation. The staff member will provide a copy of the summons to the district manager or to the chair of the board in the case that I'm the one who gets summoned. The staff member will keep the district manager informed of the length of the service as it becomes known. The staff member will be compensated only for the hours served. These compensated hours served in civic obligation do not contribute to the accumulation of earned paid time off, annual leave, or personal leave. And then compensation will be at the employee's current hourly rate. So if there are any changes that people would like to that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll find a place for it in the handbook. And then this is retroactive to June 1st to accommodate the actual jury duty.
Yeah, I'm sorry that this piece was missing.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. These things will come up, right? And we'll
Yeah.
just have to add them, right? And I think you said you're done, right? Like yeah.
Yeah, today was actually the last day they would have had me show up and they didn't.
So
I was kind of excited. I think they didn't want me.
I think this makes a lot of sense. I will just mention anecdotally, I was once called for a federal grand jury and I served for 2 years. That's how long it went. And it initially was a day a week. And then the second year, I think I was on the longest serving federal grand jury in Vermont state history.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so my employer generously, my time was paid for. And, highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different ball wax though.
Yeah.
Federal grand jury.
So this looks as
No, I think we should do this,
yeah,
absolutely.
but it looks reasonable.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be a different hit for the district.
Correct, right.
A
Much bigger deal.
A much bigger
than-
deal, and also it might, it doesn't, a lot of people just can't make that commit, you can
Yeah.
make the case to not do it. Whatever,
Yeah.
it's just an aside, I think this makes a lot of sense. My only comment about the inclement weather, I mean, it seems like exhaustive to me But I mean, if people wanted that, fine, but that's like a lot of pages to add to the handbook, but I have no problem.
Like I said, we did not take the time to develop it. It
Yeah.
was something developed by others.
Yeah, and if it benefits the staff, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'd say basically use comments.
So there's language already within the handbook relative to weather and taking leave for weather, right?
For
Is
snow
there?
days, Probably.
Yeah.
Snow days, that's right. There are snow
Yeah,
days
so-
and like making the ability to make it to the office. Correct. Do you want it?
I don't know if you want to have a reference. in
Okay.
that section
Oh,
that
to-
says you
okay.
can take leave
Yep. Okay.
for, you know, the weather
Yeah.
conditions.
That's a good point. It should
Yeah.
be like consistent.
Yeah, integrated. Yeah, totally. Yep.
But I guess the assume the staff people will still be able to work from.
Yeah. So I think some of that was in an era where people came to the office or didn't work, and we often work from home. And so
Right.
there may be some cases where like you've got a bunch of field stuff lined up that maybe you do have to take a couple hours off that day or something. But otherwise, I think most of the time we just substitute other work. But I will make sure that it's integrated into the existing language.
The only thought I had on the jury duty was that, you might want to have a provision so there isn't double dipping, which if they're collecting the
Stipend. Yeah.
stipend from the
Yep.
courts, that you reduce the payment by that
Yep.
amount.
Mhm.
Yeah, they kind of, well, when I was there, they had to sign up for payment and they said, you have to do it at all if you're getting paid for your work. So they kind
Right.
of took care of that.
Okay.
But
I'll put it in here to make sure. Yeah.
Okay.
15. Is that what it is?
It
15.
was pretty low. Yeah, but I put that.
It's like the 1800s.
Yeah.
$15 a day.
Wow.
Cool.
Those are jobs that I don't do.
Cool.
What hourly rate is that?
Yeah.
Not
$3
min- it's not minimum.
It's like 50 cents an hour.
Yeah, just
Um,
a
yeah.
little more.
$2,
I looked up for AgSoup, we had 57 unique farmers who worked over that grant agreement, and then you can tack on like 10 RCS producers as well. That's
Wow.
pretty good.
Almost 70 farmers. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but that's including cats work as well. That wouldn't
Yeah.
be this
Yeah.
good for us, but it's a good number.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then the last thing, this is something that Rick had asked me to add into an agenda at some point. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, but it seemed appropriate here, is the addition of a staff holiday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, to make that like a 4-day weekend for staff. So that is also proposed here as an additional staff
As a
holiday, a paid holiday.
paid
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
Which is what the state, I think the state calls Friday after Thanksgiving kind of an administrative. It's not a bona fide
Right.
holiday, but
Yeah.
rather the governor and the agency secretaries a week out say, oh,
Right.
we're going to give you Friday.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
let's just make it formal.
Yeah. No, I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I worked that already last year. So.
Yeah, because you're still probation period,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
That would've been nice for-
Will you be around for Thanksgiving or?
Hopefully not.
Yeah, and probably also not the annual dinner too. We'll see how you're feeling. but-
Before.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. Cranky.
Yeah. At least it'll be cooler for you, right? Won't be as hot.
So we're looking for a motion? on
Yeah.
These three elements of revisions to the handbook?
Totally. Yeah. And, or a partial if you want to accept one and not the others, but yeah, a formal, I would appreciate a formal approval of this from the board so I can make it happen.
Well, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Russ.
Approve these three, the inclement weather policy,
Yeah.
the jury duty policy, and the adding holiday. And
As
inclement-
modified with the
as-
money.
Yeah, inclement weather to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
incorporated into the handbook consistent with.
Okay, Russ, second.
Any further discussion on the motion? I would just say thank you for your accommodation and given this. I mean, staff have looked at the inclement policy, makes sense. It's meaningful to have it written down.
Yeah.
So these three things, I think, just another attempt by us, the board, to help staff where we can.
Yeah,
So-
agreed.
Any other comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Very good.
All right, the last thing before we get to staff reviews are checks for the past 6 months of supervisor service. Jeff, and we have been doing both associates and full supervisors. And remember, check only one of the boxes. One of the boxes says you want the money, one of the boxes says you don't want the money. So just check the one that's relevant to you. And sign and return, please. And I'll get it to Pat. And I'll have to mail these to Paul and to Dan. I think Dan popped off, but I'll email Dan. Yeah, so you know.
Got a quick question.
Totally.
Anyone else attend the what? Just the White River District's seminar and something they supposed to get $100 stipend?
I'm not aware of that. No.
That was months ago.
Yeah, it was.
I
it was-
went and
yeah.
someone got back to me and said, "What's your address?" I've never gotten a thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to get or what. Not included in this, though.
No, right.
I would check in with Jennifer.
Jen
Okay.
or Pat. I mean, Pat does their books too, so Pat might know
Yeah.
where that's at as well. Yeah, she's got her hands in a lot of different pots.
Yeah, was it?
I'll talk to you after. I have
Totally.
no problem with this.
Okay. All right.
It was on the conservation 2050 or 5020, whatever the.
Was it 18?
Oh, the
181?
Act 59, Act 59 listening session,
59.
maybe. There were
Okay.
also a series of those that we did some and they did some. It
Right.
could have been Act 59 listening session. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's do something.
So yeah, you either gotta check the top one that says you're gonna keep the money or the bottom one that says that you're gonna decline it and then sign. And I've got a pen for it if you want one.
After this, we're gonna. take it as-
Correct. Yeah, if we want to take a break for bathrooms, we definitely can.
1 second here. Can I just give folks a quick update on?
Totally,
Yeah.
please.
Before
Yeah.
we go, just let you know.
Yeah, it wasn't.
After, 4 months of chemotherapy, was trying to kick my butt, but I just kept kicking back. So, I finished that and I'm just getting ready for, 3 or 4 weeks of radiation therapy now. Going every day and actually starts as soon as I leave the meeting.
Oh.
My first session,
Thank you.
pick up my daughter. So, but everything looks really well. Got rid of all, if not most, and now hopefully radiation. takes
That's
care of
awesome.
The rest of it. I've got some other secondary cancer in the background that'll just be monitored every 6 months. But, yeah, it was kind of a long, hard road, but, everything worked out well. And I just thankful to have both of my daughters here, my little support team that was here the whole time.
Yeah.
We did on my final chemotherapy. We would do some themes sometimes, like Purple Day. So our final day was in June, and I did Christmas in July in June. So we were all wearing Christmas stuff, wearing Christmas, and everybody got into it at the. The receptionist had Christmas trees out. I brought in all kinds of stuff. So even with the other patients and getting treated, that's all appreciated. We just try to make a good time, as best you can. So, yeah. So thank you, everyone. Still getting there, and things are looking good. So I just want to let everybody know that things are looking really good. I'll just kind of finish up this next month and then go from there.
Thrilled. Yeah,
Oh,
thrilled.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
And thank you for your
Yeah.
service as a supervisor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now associate supervisor as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Well, I can't stick around. I mean, executive session.
Yeah, I think we've just done full supervisors for the staff reviews in the past. Thank you, Josh.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
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 And thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And I'm just gonna take a.
Totally. I gotta do a bathroom break too. Nobody's online, but take a quick recess. You can, if you, in the past, have we had them come in to
Linger?
talk and linger?
Just the way.
It's up to you whether you have any questions you want to ask of her.
I don't think you need to.
I don't think so either.
If you want to.
I got what I need. But yeah, I think you're okay to go. Yeah. All three of you are fine to. Oh, though I think that these are your waiters. I think these are the waiters that we ordered. So.
Is it?
Open it up. I'm pretty sure those are the waiters. We ordered some waiters for Lucas when he does the stream work, and I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So
All right, thank you.
thank you both.
I can open this outside. I don't need
Go.
to do it while you guys.
I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
You're free to go also. Thank you for the updates, and if you want to come to those base level water quality council meetings, do you have the invites for them?
I have the, on my device.
Yeah, I was just gonna go.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You saw who was like in person one time.
This is what we got through the Pine Stormwater grant. See how they look.
Oh, put them on.
I know, we tried to fit we tried to get a size that would fit both Dan and I, so we got like in between our two sizes. In case one of us sets it to.
Frog Talks, look at that. Nice.
How
Handsome.
does this open?
Have to get in the box first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's cut this.
Chest waiter.
Yeah, here we go.
Nice.
Yeah, look at district waiters now. Whoa.
Wow. Awesome.
These are sturdy. I don't know if they're long enough.
Tie them up around your neck.
Boot size,
Then,
boot size is
Yeah.
good.
yeah, boot size is good.
Okay.
Yeah. It
That's
was
the most
for both
important.
of us, yeah. Yeah. It's like a half size big for me, but it's just a half size small for Dan. So we're both gonna they use them. So
Waiters.
Oh, look at those.
yeah. We'll keep these in Williston for now until the season's over and then
I think you'll fit in those.
I think I'll finish, yeah.
Don't get them dirty.
Tie them around your neck.
Yeah, you don't need a rain,
That's what I
you
try 'em on.
won't need a rain jacket.
Yeah, do some fly fishing.
Great.
Throw these back in. Bring me to Williston.
Just make sure when they do get wet, you dry them out.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
roll 'em
hang
up
them
and
upside
put 'em
down.
in a
Yeah,
bowl.
yeah, no, for sure. I used to work in like boggy areas.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's the
You
box.
get really hot in them. Yeah, this is the box, so I'll bring these out.
Thank you, Delaney, for your
Yes.
work.
Of course.
So, yeah, in all seriousness, good luck at VLS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck down there.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
All
thanks.
right, bye.
I don't know if people use felts on boots anymore. The
The rock snow.
rock snot. Haven't heard anything about rock snot.
Yeah, that
It was
was,
the waiters.
Yeah, but they look good.
That's a water bottle?
This is my water bottle, yeah.
Oh.
I'll be hanging around.
Oh,
okay.
I'm gonna just finish out the day. here,
Totally.
I think.
You mind to shut the door?
Yeah.
Perfect.
no, you're welcome to stay.
Yeah.
Associates are welcome to stay for this council discussions. Obviously, you just can't vote, but certainly your insight and opinion matter. So, I think we have to take a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters. And I'll second. At, 12:37 PM.
I think, yeah, you need a vote, right?
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Let me turn off the recording.